Process in the how long an RFP is out there and how long we solicit for those RFPs, and they choose different areas to make those announcements. Usually per the service that you're requesting for, wherever those would be most likely seen by the professional services, that's where we try to solicit services from. So I think they did their due diligence. Any?
Is that it?
I'll see.
Okay, no further questions. All right. Procurement, I don't know that property is here, but she's the direct supervisor for property. So
Good afternoon.
My question was, everybody, I think the council has seen the email about the RV park situation, and I just wanted to see if property and procurement are the ones who are in charge of the RV park, and I've heard that sometimes they've rented it out, so I'm just trying to figure out whose responsibility that is for the RV park and overseeing it. Is it property and procurement?
No, ma'am. The only time that we have anything to do with the campground is during Nation Days.
So, who is in charge of the campgrounds?
Well, everything out here at the Mission, I think, is Wildlife Parks and Rec.
So during the Nation Days, since it is not property and procurement, do you guys coordinate with Wildlife Parks and Recreation?
We used to. We haven't with the new director, but in the past, the previous directors would even help. Enrollment, we kind of treat them like vendors. So the vendors are the one, enrollment is the one who takes the vendor fees. So they also collected the campground fees. In the past, previous directors had collected those for enrollment, but I just don't know that WPR has done that since they've been in.
All right, but you guys do not handle the fees or anything?
No. Vendor, the enrollment handles the vendor fees, so they also collect the campground fees.
So were you, I know in the email traffic for the RV park, did you have anything, were you aware that anybody was at our campground?
After the emails came out, I mean, I don't come out to the Mission every day. I don't drive the ground, so I didn't know that the campers had been there. So, but I did find out after everything happened. Mhm.
Right. Was it property and procurement who had anything to do with having those people at?
From what I understand on the situation, I can't speak because I didn't know directly, but I think it was just something that happened because when we built the arena in the beginning, those people came from the East Coast, and so they did park a trailer there while they were building that. And then I don't even know if when the other company came in to finish the arena, if they parked at the campground, I have no clue. But I just know that when they started the childcare after, now this all came out after, but I found out that after, they were staying there, but they were told not to dump. And so I don't know how it came about that they were dumping anything. I mean, like I said, it's all hearsay as far as I'm concerned because I didn't have direct knowledge and no one really spoke to me about it.
Right, okay, I was just trying to ask a simple question, and that's where all of this started out. Not trying to accuse anybody of anything, I'm just trying to figure out the facts of what happened, so we can fix the process so things will not happen.
I understand.
I just wanted to get from your mouth, you guys are responsible, trying to, make sure that everybody knows, the process. Thank you.
yeah, the same information she just shared with you, I shared with you as well, for the record. Representative Cootie?
Are you all responsible for purchasing any buildings for the tribe?
Are we responsible for?
Buying buildings for the tribe?
No, I wouldn't say we are. Procurement doesn't have any money. We don't purchase buildings. If other tribal programs purchase them, then, if they got a purchase order or, whatever, we're involved in that way. But no, I wouldn't say that we're responsible for purchasing buildings. The program does. and they process their paperwork through procurement.
Well, maybe you can answer, and maybe the chief can answer. Do we have a building downtown? I just heard about it. Or is it a rumor again?
Downtown what?
Seminole?
In Wewoka,
Oh, in Wewoka?
downtown Wewoka.
We do have a building there. It's in the area with ICW. ICW has always been a program that really haven't been adequately housed until, at least office space they do now. So sometimes they get children where there's no immediate placement. You know, there's no immediate placement, and sometimes they have to, those kids would be staying in those offices, you know, and that's not a good thing. So this will alleviate that situation once that it's ready to go. So
it's for office spaces?
no, it's for children that need placement for the main part. There is a part that is going to be utilized for another purpose as well. But yes, it's going to take care and address that situation there where the kids will have to be sleeping in the offices if there's a holdover and there's no placement immediately. So it's going to be a nice facility where kids will feel comfortable until, you know, they can be placed with a house or a home.
Okay. Thank you.
Let's see, I think I've seen Representative Hill, then Representative Shaw.
Chair, in reference to that building that she's talking about, Representative Cooley over here, in downtown Wewoka, I believe you indicated that building belongs to ICW. It's been utilized to put children over there, etc. I believe that building used to be for girls and boys to work out in, etc. And as of right now, it's not really abandoned. I mean, I don't know if they're using it or not, but they still got all the equipment in there. Still, they left it behind. I believe it was an ex-Marine that used to own it. He sold it. What I'm hearing is that ICW purchased it, okay? If in fact ICW purchased it, I would like to know how much the building cost, where did the money come from, and it never came across the council floor for us to vote on yea or nay to purchase that. So can you enlighten me with that?
Yeah, there's a process within the tribal code that allows, you know, programs to try to meet their immediate needs. So therefore, yes, it did come from. Let me see, what was it? Maybe ICW ARPA or something like that. It was ARPA. Yeah, ICW ARPA, which is Bureau of Indian Affairs funds. It was there for the need to be met. As far as the bottom floor, yes, it is still right now, you know, filled with equipment. It is planned to be able to be utilized for the purpose of not only ICW, but for other purposes as well. But the upper floors will be made into these really nice facilities. As a matter of fact, going out to bid to retrofit it. So we look for that to be you know, finished, you know, maybe by the first of the year, of next year, and to be utilized. Kids don't need to be sleeping on office furniture in ICW. It's unfortunate, isn't it?
What was the cost?
I don't know, what was the cost? Probably about 100,000, I believe, yeah. Yeah, something like that. Can you turn your mic on, Representative Shaw?
Pretty much that's the same thing on that, you know, when you're gonna purchase buildings like that, you know this, you went through that, everything that we buy comes to the council.
It's not the total code there. You're speaking on a certain area of code. There is a certain area of code that addresses how this was done through program activities. So there is a different mechanism and a different procedure when you do things such as this. So yeah, we looked at the code.
Even $100,000 is more than 10% of the budget. And so.
Actually, you'd be being correct on that particular budget.
Well, whatever it is, it's still more than 10% of what was allocated.
Not necessarily.
That would change financial
No. I will tell you, we did it accordingly with tribal code. That's what I will tell you. And if you want, we can send out the code that has that in it so that you can read it for yourself.
That's like this morning, you read that deal off right there, it's in a title. Could you send that to everyone else? I think we need to see it too.
Oh, we can, yeah, definitely, we can send that out. There's no doubt about that. Matter of fact, Chief, if you pull it up, send it out to those council representatives. Attorney General, because we don't do things off the cuff. You know, we look at the code, we look how things can be done in a manner and a way that's most efficient for the tribe. And we did too, back when we was trying to get 250 jobs here in the Seminole Nation. We thought that was a no-brainer, but obviously it wasn't.
What I can't understand is that we're buying all these buildings and we woke up and we're talking about moving the complex out here. So, that's two and two don't add up to 4.
Well, Representative Shaw, you have your opinion. If we do move the complex out here, which I think there's already a standing resolution, I do have the remedy to get the complex out here. I may just bring that up here at the quarterly meeting in September, and then we can get the complex out here.
Yeah, but why are we buying everything in Wewoka?
Wewoka is still a part of our community. Of course, it's the capital of the Seminole Nation. It's the current location of many programs that's existingly there. We don't see ICW right now anywhere in the immediate future relocating. So it made, as far as proximity to their offices, it made sense to be able to do something of that nature, to be able to improve the program. I don't want kids staying and sleeping on office furniture.
I know that you said transparency at the beginning of this. Looks like we're having to find out the stuff ourselves, not you being transparent with us. As a council, we should have known about this building being bought up there on the north end of town. The reason I know it's there, I went up there and looked at it myself. And it still got that equipment in it, and there was a couple of women and a guy coming out of there in gym shorts and stuff. They've been working out. Who's collecting the money on that? Those guys are still paying dues. I asked. They're still paying dues.
When was that? When was that?
Thursday.
You're thinking of the wrong facility. That actually is a gym. You're talking about on North Wewoka? That's Taylor Gym. People do pay to exercise down there. So you got your locations a little bit misrepresented there.
I think that's what she was talking about, wasn't it, when she started this?
No, it's not.
What are you talking about?
I think, get with Mr. Hill, he seems to know a little bit more precisely where this is located. Even the person that was a former Marine that was taking young people up and trying to...
From the south side, like.
Yeah. The south side is different than north side though, isn't it? Yeah, okay.
North side, old King.
Yeah, that's somebody else. That's a a gym by private individual. Representative Borba?
Yes, I would like to say thank you for thinking of the children. I mean, this is a need. Why in Wewoka? Because there is a great need. There are a lot of kids in the Wewoka area that don't have homes. They don't have any place to sleep at night. Their parents have abandoned them. I've seen and worked with several students who are homeless in Wewoka children. So I just wanted to say thank you for thinking of our children.
Well, it's unfortunate, and that runs rampant across the whole country of ours, but, we can address it as best that we can. Representative Emerton? WPR, please. Wildlife Parks and Recreation, Ms. Smith.
Good afternoon. My name is Rosie Coon-Smith, and I am the Director of Wildlife Parks and Recreation.
Yes, Ms. Smith, I know I've spoken to you when I asked a simple question. I just asked the question, did anybody know who was staying at our RV parks? I know I had different, I was directed in different areas. Is the Wildlife Parks and Recreation responsible for the RV parks?
When I began in response to your question, when I first was employed here 2.5 years ago, there never was a formal written statement saying what I was in charge of, and everything was hearsay. And still, within my jurisdiction, there's still a lot of hearsay, but from what I know from at that time, it was the maintenance director said, this is your area, starting from the campgrounds to the pond, to the disc golf, all the way up to the softball fields, to the volleyball courts, to north of the softball fields, and to right around the gymnasium area. So those are specific, is what they told me, specific hearsay, not in writing. I never was emailed on anything like that. So that's what I took care of, and I did the maintenance to it. As far as the RV park, when I received your phone call, I kind of did some research into that, and I did ask the General Counsel Secretary to look into it for me, and couldn't find anything because it was way back in the day. I think maybe right after the Milam and Miller era, I guess, when they built the campgrounds, and it was mainly for Seminole Nation tribal members to come during Seminole Nation days only to camp out, because it is a primitive campgrounds. And I don't think it was meant for rental for anyone. So as the years progressed, I think it was open to any Native tribal member that wanted to come and participate in the Seminole Nation days. So that's, I haven't seen a resolution on that, and I don't know if I need to go back and really look and see what the wording is and what the intent was. But I feel like that it wasn't meant to, rent to the public. That's what I'm thinking, because, like it is a primitive. And the last 2 Seminole Nation days, property procurement took care of that, and that was all right with me because it's one less thing that I had to deal with. And since then, when they had the RV trucks down there, was during the when they were building the big arena. I knew they were down there, and so I would, drive around and see, what my guys could do or what they're not doing. And I did see it parked down there. So as I told you in a telephone conversation, I seen that where they were had the waste was just coming out onto the ground. So I went and got Chuck, and I said, let's go see what they're doing and why. Who authorized this? Because I didn't. And he kept saying, well, this is your jurisdiction. And I said, well, I didn't authorize this, so let's go see. And so he got a truck, and we went down there and couldn't talk to him. And finally, we went back to the big arena, and they were crawling up barefooted. And so he asked him to come down, and they couldn't speak any English. And so he asked him, he goes, boss. And he goes, oh yeah, and said, boss. So finally, I got in touch with whoever's boss there was, and he talked to Chuck, and Chuck said, well, I don't know where you can come in and park your RVs and, put your waste right here, on our tribal grounds. We could sue you, we could, get you for damages, and, you need to take care of that. So apparently it was taken care of because they left, and that was, I guess, when they were building the big arena. And so this past year, I guess, when they were working on the child care center, I did, drive around, and I did see the RVs parked. And I did take pictures. I took pictures of their tags too. And then I guess that's when you had noticed that, they were down there too. I didn't know that, they were dumping any waste anywhere until, I became aware of that. So with all that being said, I don't know who gave them authority to be parked down there, but everybody knew they were down there. I mean, nobody can't say that they didn't know, because everybody knew. All the maintenance guys knew. And so when all that happened, that's when you had your inquiry. And I asked specifically in an email, who is in charge? And at that time, I didn't get a response, and finally got a response and said, The Seminole Nation of Oklahoma has jurisdiction over the campgrounds. You have the maintenance part. But here lately, we are paying the utilities down there, and I have never, ever rented anything out to anyone since I've been employed here.
So they were using the electricity and the water, and the Seminole Nation was paying for that? And were they renting, or did any fees come to you?
I have no idea, and I probably can't inquire about that because it's probably confidential. But if you would contact the, I guess, the department or the entity that was parked there and follow the paper trail, you could probably find out. But as far as I'm concerned, I can't inquire about it because of confidentiality, and I can't point fingers. So that's, I'm stuck
So the
there
park
too.
is only supposed to be primitive, which is the electricity and a spout for water, but there's no sewage, anything out there for dumping? Okay. So I know we were talking about procurement and other people renting it out for Nation Days. Since this happened, can we put it in writing somewhere that they contact you because you are responsible for, doing the maintenance of everything and maintaining the grounds? Can we put it in writing that they have to contact you before anything is rented out? So fees and any kind of liability would be covered by your department and not by whoever is on some, committee at that time? Because I know people change over. And since it is under your
Umbrella?
Yes, your authority for cutting the grass and maintaining, can we just make sure that they contact you, the proper fees are paid, and then you could check up on them. You would know who is on our property and what they were doing. Also, there should be no dumping of any kind of
Right.
waste anywhere on our property. That's not authorized to have that kind of dumping. But that was my question when I first asked the question. I know I physically drove by there, took pictures, and I was trying to just ask a question: who's there? About how much are you? I've got an RV. How much do you charge? Then I found out there was no sewage.
Are we going to write a book here, or are we going to get straight to the point?
Okay, so I just want to make sure that that Ms. Smith is consulted and coordinated with.
Oh, you want to make sure of that.
Well, I mean, is there
Okay.
any accountability?
We'll
Well,
take what you just stated, and we'll
Yeah,
go
excuse
from
me for
there.
interrupting, but since property and procurement has kind of been in charge of that, I don't mind if they keep on handling it. That's perfectly fine with me. And I could, keep up with the maintenance, and I can still keep up with the paying the utilities. But like I said, I haven't done any really research over that because, it is a primitive, and I don't know, who would want to come down and to rent it out because you can't get revenue from it because of the way that it is, no sewage, nothing. Each site has an electrical outlet, but it doesn't have anything for sewage or no water at each site. So, if it stays the same, that's perfectly fine with me because, like I said, I've never got anything in writing, and that would be up to the executive office. However they want to do that, that's perfectly fine with me. If they want to put it under my jurisdiction completely, then that's perfectly fine with me. But I kind of like the way that it has been.
As long as there's communication between who is renting it out, and make sure that we get the fees, because that is property of the
Right.
Seminole Nation.
Right.
And that we want to make sure that any kind of utilities are covered by the fees that they, accrue from staying there.
Yeah, I
And
understand, but
I'm speaking from our tribal members. That's why I said I wanted to make sure,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
because a lot of us had questions.
I think that would be something that the executive department would have to consider, and then if they give me something in writing, I always try to adhere to all the directives that I've been getting, so, that's another thing that, I will, adhere to, so.
All right.
As far as fees and such, it's been directed to the director to be able to put together, a list of fees for anything that we may have here, if it's going to go back to Wildlife Parks and Recreation for those fees. There's at times, people, especially with some of the amenities that we have here, if it's like a fundraiser, or if it's like a nonprofit, or if it's for a good cause or something like that. Occasionally, those may be requested to the executive office, and there's a perimeter there. Obviously, does it meet a lot of need, more than one person? Does it meet a need of a community? Does it meet a need of many tribal members? Then, you know, we take all that in consideration when such maybe a waiver of a fee is addressed. Representative Shaw.
Well, since it starts off with wildlife, how many hogs have been killed down here south? How many hogs have been killed or eradicated
Over at the
south down here?
1,300 acres,
Yeah.
I think the last that I counted was probably, I'm guessing here, I lost track, it's about over 121.
So that's what's one thing. Now, the other question is, and this is hearsay, I'm gonna bring it out, that, everybody has to pay for the ball fields down here, except for a few. Are you over the ball fields or, and I seen here we're gonna have, what do you call it?
I just explained that before your question, Representative Shaw, that occasionally a request is.
You got a recreation director. Are you the recreation director too? I know it's all been one job, one.
To my knowledge, I oversee the recreation. There has been a little confusion if there is a tribal recreation director. I did interview, I interviewed for a wildlife parks and recreation program coordinator and not as director. So there's a little confusion there that I'm not, that belongs to HR. It's an HR question.
I think historically, from the perspective of the Seminole Nation, Wildlife Parks and Recreation is federally funded, and anything to do with recreation outside of Wildlife Parks and Recreation is general fund. I believe several years ago they switched that recreation coordinator when the late Victor Beer used to be here with us for so many years. So they work together on certain types of projects that's allowable through the funding. So you have a scope of work. So anyone that works within a federal program or even with the Seminole Nation, there's always a scope of work, SOW, scope of work. It goes down a list. Even when we get the federal funding, it'll be in the contract what that scope of work is under that particular federal contract. So it's pretty clear.
So, we do have a recreation
Well,
director.
more like a coordinator.
We do have one?
More like a coordinator, yes.
Okay. Would this be over that?
No, not necessarily over the upkeep of the lands. I think they contribute to it, obviously. They work towards that as well, keep up the ball fields, those types of things.
You keep up the ball field? You're keeping up with the ball fields, right?
Along with recreation. Rosie, does Gary Lena participate in doing things?
Do I what?
Does he participate, Gary Lena? He does. Yes, there's duties, but both departments take care of here on the mission grounds and other areas.
Okay. I need to find out this. That's all been one, that's all been one.
No, what it is someone got upset because the executive looked at a fundraiser for children, right? For children, for the benefit of children. And someone says, well, we're not going to be able to charge for that. Okay, well, we have a perimeter too. You know, if it's going to meet a need of a community, meet the need of more than one person, obviously we'll consider that waiving the fees. But there's also some areas that we got to really watch. When we use federal funds, there's certain perimeters that you just can't go hog wild with things, and charging fees as well. So there's a fine line there. Representative Emerton?
But you know, they changed that leg, you dance pretty good. Now, you got two legs, you dance better.
So my other question is,
Moonwalking.
with the hogs that you guys have eradicated from, the property, do you guys, I understand that there's some equipment that may need maintenance. Can you elaborate on that to help you patrol our grounds and to help us Seminole Nation, control the hogs and everything?
When I was hired, we probably have the smallest budget, and with all the added, well, you've seen my report, with all the added acreages that we have to mow, now we're rebuilding the fence line on the southwest side, and a month ago, more than a month ago, I went and I begged for $10,000 more to just, so we can make ends meet. And so I was given the $10,000, and I guess direct costs took about $1,600 of that. So the rest went into 3 different line items, which was repair and maintenance, and gas and oil, and supplies. And so far, we've probably pretty much depleted all that. So right now, we're just kind of watching what we're doing up and hopefully to make it up to September. 2 weeks ago, all our mowers are down. And so we put them all in the shop, and I begged, put in some POs with our recreation activity fund, and I got my POs approved. So therefore, we put them all in the shop. We have our Kubota that has never ran. We have an ATV that was given to us by the Light Horse, and it's down. And that's what Aaron was using when he was patrolling over there at the lands, and that's how he's with the USDA guy. So now that is down, and so now we have an old 2010 pickup that we're using, and if that goes down, we're all on foot. So
Let me
we're
make
just
it very
waiting for
clear.
those 2 mowers to come back so that, we can continue.
Let me make it
keeping
very
the grounds
clear.
the way that they need to be kept in maintenance, so.
I want to make it
we're
clear
there.
on something. Yeah, I've heard it throughout the day, the word never. It never ran. That was a brand-new Kubota, cost the Seminole Nation over $20,000. And the reason why it quit running was because an operator was trying to operate it where it's not fit and it's not designed to operate. And therefore, we had to repair that thing. So to say a Kubota that was brand new, and we did the things that we needed to, council knew about it, that we purchased that piece of equipment for wildlife parks and recreation, and improper operation of it caused the damage to it. So it was out for a while, and it needs to be back into service, because we don't purchase brand new equipment to be able to not operate it properly so that we can say it never ran. So using the word never is a misquote. It's brand new.
So I understand that there's 2 gators that need fixing, so you guys can patrol the property that we're looking at for the bison. Are they still in need of repair?
Yes.
Is there any way?
Yes. We do have a little bit of money in WPR, the budget WPR. It's about $7,000 that's with equipment. But I'm having to do a feasibility study, and as soon as I can do that, maybe, we can get a big 72-inch. I don't know. Everything's just kind of up in the air right now, but
Well,
we'll just make do with what we have.
One
for
thing
now.
is some equipment's not adequate. Just like these fellows that roam around on these zero-turn radius. It's not adequate. Do not bring to us again to get a zero-turn radius mower to do the job that's presented to you. Do some research. Give us a piece of equipment that can do the job. Don't put a push mower to mow 15 acres. You know what I'm saying? I'm exaggerating a little there. But zero turn radius are not the mower of choice to do large acreage. And we've said that over and over. Get some quotes. Get us something there. You get us something there, we're going to work on getting you adequate equipment. So please get that information to executive, and then we can process within the budgets of what we're able to do. And we're at the time limit.
Well, I was just wanting to know if we can, get some of these things serviced so they can finish their duties and their jobs of the bison, because I keep hearing about the bison
Yeah.
area needs a lot of attention. So I'm trying to ask if we can find some funds to give to them so they can get their stuff up and going for the Seminole Nation, and we can continue.
Well, yeah, we'll just do it for them then. We'll just do it for them. We have requested many things, and we're going to request a maintenance schedule as well, because tearing up brand new equipment is because you're not operating it properly. Representative Petit.
Okay, Chair, since you're both here, I need to ask you a question regarding TR 2215. And it was a one-time appropriation of $5 million from the American Rescue Plan Act. And when I read this next to the last paragraph, it says, further resolved, the General Counsel directs the Executive Office and Wildlife Parks and Recreation Department to develop a plan for revitalization of designated areas of historic Mexican Mission school grounds for this purpose to be designated as Seminole Nation of Oklahoma, Mexican Mission Park, Seminole Nation of Oklahoma Veterans Memorial Park, and Mexican Mission Green Spaces. I ask this question because I don't see where this council gave any authority for any spending to come out of that resolution, because it did not say implement, which is one that I've asked the Attorney General to describe to us before. It says to develop a plan. As far as I know, has this council received a plan that y'all provided?
I'd have to look at that resolution. You got it right there in front of you, then I can interpret it according, and I can show the video according to exactly what we did as a nation then. I don't have that one on me in front of my eyes.
That's the language. The whereas next to the last paragraph there. What resolution is that?
And this was approved on April 9th, 22, with 14
Yeah,
yes votes, 9.
Yeah, and above all that, there's several whereases, which is the total context of the whole resolution. So we'll send it out as a reminder to everybody. There's a lot here besides taking that last whereas, and yeah.
Funds to invest in and develop.
Yeah, the American Rescue Plan Act, I think there might be some thoughts on the word plan, but that's the act itself. We'll send that out to everybody, y'all can read it. Council Secretary send a TR 2022-15 out to all the council. I know that's been a little bit of a while.
Chair, you can keep that copy. I've got several of them.
Okay. Yes, and I realize there's a move to try to find some money, and I want you to know that we have distributed the threshold to our tribal members, what's allowed under the American Rescue Plan Act, okay? So, you gotta remember, I've been around about 30 years here. I know all strategies that might be coming up. Anyone else? Representative Fixaco.
I don't think anybody goes around to see what happens around here. There's a lot of land, and she works hard. It's hot. She does a lot of things out there, and I want y'all at least know, I do come see. I don't know if anybody else does, but I do look around. I do see things happening, people working, but they're doing a good job. I want to commend all the workers that work hard like that, because I see a lot of people that would talk, but they don't do nothing. But I want to thank them for doing all the work they do. That's all I got to say. Whatever.
We're at our time for Wildlife Parks and Recreation.
Thank you, Nancy, because it's because I have a great staff. It took us a while to get there, and then it's just like having, supervising my children, because I have all boys. But, sometimes you have to snap that whip a little bit, and you do it in a good way. And you can see by the progress that we've done out there. And when I first came here, there was trees growing in the dugouts. One dugout had a family of rabbits living in there. And so I immediately began cleaning all that up. This was 2.5 years ago. And I was sitting in the dugout and I was crying. And my husband went to get something for me to snack on. He come back, he goes, "Why are you crying?" And I said, "Because you have to do this work." And I said, "Well, no, because it got in this condition." I said, "Everybody works here, everybody sees the grass growing, everybody sees the softball fields, but nobody does anything about it." And across the street, there's 5 or 6 grown men that left it in that disarray, and that is why I was crying. So, when I leave this place, this is the last job that I'm ever gonna have. Hopefully I left it in a better condition than when I found it, and I believe I have. So, I enjoy my job. It's hard work, but I'm a hard-working woman. Seminoles women are hard-working people, multitask. We take care of the kids, we cook, we clean, we wash. We take care of a lot of different duties, and that's what I do here, with Wildlife Parks and Recreation. We have a lot of objectives. And then when they add one more onto it, there's just one more thing that I have to juggle, and I do juggle all of it, and I come to work early, I stay late, I work holidays, I work weekends. I'm a hard-working woman.
All right, let's move on. We
Yeah.
come to the time for this, and I want to thank the council, because the council
Sorry.
made measurements early on, and
Yeah, my husband told me not to ramble, but I think
And-
I'm rambling.
and-
I apologize.
Rosa. Thank you. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you. Nice meeting you all.
All right, let's see. I saw Representative Sampson, then I seen Representative Cootie.
Tribal enrollment.
Tribal enrollment is, I'm sorry? Yeah, she took vacation, and maybe we can answer those questions.
Okay. Here a while back, we had a resolution for the cards, and the CDIB cards got done, and you said verbally that the freedmen would receive cards. I was wanting to know, have y'all sat down and made a decision on how those cards were going to be for the freedmen?
I believe, the discussion is, should there be cards, for the freedmen and for the Seminoles by blood? My understanding that there is. I mean, when we do new cards, we do new cards. The element design is not yet finalized for the enhanced card, but it's getting closer. Yeah.
Okay, so there's nothing in writing?
Yeah, I think there was probably some people's idea that we weren't going to do all of our citizenship as far as cards were concerned. Now, you're talking about the enhanced card that you travel with to other countries and so forth. I think what the enrollment officer was saying at that time, or the enrollment director, was saying that, that deals with the Office of Homeland Security, because there was a lot of people that was trying to pass as American Indians, because of the likeness to indigenous people of the Americas, maybe hair and skin tone and all that kind of thing. So they said that Homeland Security, made that available because of that. And I think that's where she stopped at. But as far as brand-new cards, everybody gets them. Everybody gets the standard enrollment card that's going to be enhanced. It's going to be an enhanced card.
But that wasn't totally discussed, only discussed about one card, and that's why I'm asking, and that's why the people are asking.
I think there's a basic enrollment card that's going to be a total new design, and then there's that one that lets you travel out of the country.
So do the freedmen have to address the Homeland Security with our documents?
No, freedmen don't have to do anything, and freedmen can't address things on behalf of the Seminole Nation outside of this council delegating you to do so. But let me get a hold of Homeland Security personally myself and see where that's at. But that's the whole reason for tribal nations this was devised, because people were trying to pass themselves off as American Indians. I'll give you an example. I was in training several years ago for the Smithsonian, and we were in San Diego, and someone got the wild idea, let's go eat and across the border, and we did. And we had about 7 or 8 different tribes, 12 tribes. Some of them was from Canada, and it was time to come home. So I hit that road and was going home and everything, and going back on the state side. And I was the only one that got through, because all the others was a lot shorter than I, and they were stopping them and checking them and everything, because they looked a lot in similarity to the people that were citizens of Mexico. So, and I turned and said, "Are you guys coming?" But they eventually did make it over too. But I think Homeland Security is set at some challenges, so they make things, they try to make it where, things can be easier for, and that type of thing for Indian nations. But we'll get a clear answer on that. I'll try to get the actual guidelines from Homeland Security on that. But everybody's going to get a new tribal card, everyone, when the time comes.
Okay, that's a verbal statement.
Yeah, the enhanced travel card is a little bit different, and that's going to actually cost you, whoever wants it. It's going to cost a little bit more.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Thank you, Chief.
Representative Cootie? You want to call somebody? Okay, go right ahead. Head Start. Head Start?
Good afternoon, my name is Robin.
Robin, I had several notes from different workers at Conroe, and y'all seem to be having problems there. So let me just read one page of what some of the questions are, or some of the statements that were made. So that the council.
Is this about equipment or is this about personnel?
This is about personnel, about the children going on trips.
Is it about employees or just a suggestion of an improvement of the program?
It involves employees too, because employees are doing it to the children.
Well, we don't do personnel at this level. We try not to. I mean, we spent 2.5 hours this morning doing it.
How else can you find out what the problem is? This is how, these are the adults that's creating the problem.
Well, we'll go ahead and let Robin, what's it pertain to? Is it somebody?
These are 2 children that was left behind, but a worker took her kids to the zoo.
Oh, that was answered months and months ago, Lottie.
I didn't get a chance to
Representative Cootie, we went over this months ago, that early Head Start can't go without, they don't go, they don't travel. Head Start does. I mean,
Well, the Head Start.
we addressed that already.
What about the one that, there's an employee that took a child 3 years old into a stall with her to use a restroom?
I can tell you that everything that has happened, I have talked to the Office of Head Start, DHS, HR, and the principal chief.
All these problems have been resolved?
Yes, ma'am.
And so instead of, this person taking a child into the stall with her to use the bathroom, was she removed or did you transfer her to another site?
She is at a different center, and like I stated that I talked with DHS licensing, and we discussed all of that, and I also spoke with the Office of Head Start and the chief's office.
Well, some of these people that are concerned, if they're talking, if you are aware of it, can't you get the employees that are concerned for this problem and let them know what's happening?
Well, if I remember, we talked about this, and it was a isolated situation where there wasn't at that time another person that could watch that child while this person had to go to the bathroom, and the person said, "Please turn your head," or whatever it was. I remember that conversation, and then it was one of those things, you know.
And the employees are bringing their children to work when they're having school, and they're allowed to leave the building to go to town to grab food, and there are supposed to be 2 teachers in the room at all times. And when they do go to town to get food, they don't clock out.
I haven't heard that one.
And everything was taken care of.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm just concerned because this is what I got. And again, it concerns our children.
Okay, Head Start.
All right, I'll let the
Representative,
people know.
hey, I see that hand there. Representative Deatherage.
Yes, I can. I didn't bring my copy. On Friday, we got our final report back from the Office of Head Start when they came and done our FA2 review. It was April 1st. When we did it, the last one was in April of 2018. They found 4 non-compliances within our whole program. One of them is at the Commonwealth Center. As y'all know, we have small classrooms for EHS, and we only have 4 children in those classrooms and 1 teacher. The Office of Head Start wants us to have 2. So when child care gets to move out into their new building and we get the bigger room, we'll combine those classes. We'll have 2 teachers in there and we'll have that one completed. And like I said, we have 120 days to get all of these done. Another one was health and dental tracking and making sure that all the kids are done within the 90-day screening windows. The mental health and social services, our consultant, it states in here that the consultant didn't do all the things that was required of her at the time. And then physical, I will be meeting with Ms. Kim, and it had a lot to do with the administrative cost on how we track it for our grant. You're welcome.
Representative Lena. Yes.
A few months back, we had a meeting over some pictures or something from the We Woke Head Start. Did you get that resolved?
Yes, sir.
And when was that?
They got the pictures, I don't have the exact date, but they were received.
Okay, because of on Monday, May 6th, I was approached by the Barnetts, and they said it never got resolved, so I was just hoping it was before that.
They did.
Oh, they did, for sure?
Yes.
Okay.
Representative Shaw.
Question, are y'all teaching our Seminole language in our classes?
You can go throughout our centers. I'm not going to say that we're teaching full sentences, but we are using the language. I have been talking to the new OAP director, and we're trying to get something going to where we can work with the older Native Americans and have our children come over to eat breakfast or lunch with them and have them be able to come in our centers and do story time and then that way we're helping with one program, they're helping us, and we're doing our in-kind that way too. Plus language.
Okay, I was wondering if y'all were doing that because I know that, you know, we're several here are holding language classes for even some of our elders that they haven't lost the language, they just forgot what they were taught and they're picking it back up. But the main reason I'm talking, I should have been asking language, I told language already, my feelings on that is that they go to, let's say go to your school. If you teach them, in other words, go eat. When they go home, mom and dad don't even speak the language, they say come and eat, or let's go eat. So if you're teaching it to them little ones, we need them to be, they need to go home and start telling their parents. So that's the main reason that's going. So that, I wanted to find out on that if we were doing that. And then I know that we met with you and your center over at when we were there, they formed a parent committee that day. How come they weren't notified earlier? Each center has to have a parent committee. Do all your centers have parent committees?
Yes, they do.
After that meeting?
No.
Because they had, after that meeting with you, they got together and formed a parent committee over there. So how come they weren't aware of it? You know, that's a program stipulation in itself.
I think that everybody is made aware of the parent committees, but as the Head Start, we cannot set those dates for them. That has to be the parents that come together and pick those dates that work best for them, the dates and times. We can provide a place for them to have the meeting, and we can provide childcare, but the rest of it is up to the parents.
You know, I worked with Head Start years ago, and I turned around and talked, when we came in there, we told the parents, or at least a couple of parents who are prominent in the, in the community, to go out and inform this, and they did. And I don't think those parents are any different today than they were back 30 years ago. So, there was no excuse for it, in other words. So, that's all I got to say.
Representative Fixico.
Again, I don't know if the council goes through these places, but the regulations that they follow, they have a handbook. Parents can read handbooks. They are to start meetings or parent committees. They're the parent. They're the ones that have the meeting. And yet they're there for the building. They have the building for them to meet in. And if you say you did that, I was a teacher too. I was many years. But I tell you, the handbook is there. The parent has to read it and follow it. And lots of times, they have to commute together, talk together, and work these out. And as far as a meeting like that, there are regulations to follow all the time. Because I'm a committee member, and we have to follow and stay up with the codes, you know? So I'm aware of what you're talking about. Just go visit, please.
Okay, we're about at the time limit for this particular director. Is there anyone else somebody wants to see this morning?
One more comment.
Okay.
Okay, you know, I was at that meeting that day, and you know, some of the parents were non-Stajats, and they said they wasn't aware of parent committee board, and they was aware that day. That's why they put it together after these men talked to them. So I don't know whose fault it is or what, but they said they wasn't informed of this. They could have a committee. I was there.
Yeah, you answered that.
Within the report that y'all have, that I haven't given you a copy of one out there. But during that review, not only did the people who were doing the federal review talk to the staff, but they also had to call and talk to parent committee members, parents in general, and the policy council. So those reports where it states that we are meeting what we were supposed to, it's because they actually did talk to parents.
Yeah, you just said they were aware that there was a committee. The parents.
Well, some people aren't aware of a lot of things, you know. All right, we've met our time. Did you have one for Head Start?
No.
Okay, thank you, Robin, for your time today.
Mr. Chairman, before she leaves, she's got
Hold on.
She's got Head Start, early Head Start, directed from both of them. Are you directed from both?
Yes.
Where does Ricky Postal come in at?
She's talking.
Child care? That's the one I think she wanted.
Okay, child care? Ms. Postoke, are you still here? Make sure the mic is turned on and begin to address the council.
Good afternoon, I'm Ricky Postoke, Child Care Director.
Yes, Ms. Posto, so I just had a couple of questions in regards to a situation at your child care that is over on Reach Street, that's Harbush.
Yes.
Here in Seminole. So it was brought to my attention, this family, they have a set of twins.
Yes.
They, on June the 6th, it looks like they were wrote up for head lice or nits, and they were told to go to a doctor and to have it evaluated.
Yes.
Well, the family has done so. They go to the doctor, they even get a statement from that physician. There was no sign of lice or nits, but what I have a problem with here, I'm looking at these signatures, and it says it's for 4 different employees. However, it's all one handwriting.
Yes, ma'am, it is.
What has been done about that?
Can I talk to him? It's a personnel issue.
I've got the documents right here.
It's been handled. It's been taken care of. And then also I did talk to Mr. Hill and let him know that those teachers, I know that they've had this training in the past. We've got another training set up for them June the 27th after hours, 6:30, so that will be addressed about the head nets. Apparently they were getting the dandruff or something mixed up different than head lice and head nets.
My thing is, it's the same person writing these other people's signatures, that's forgery.
Yes, ma'am, and we did take care of that through executive and HR. Everything's been turned in and taken care of.
Leave it at that.
Yeah.
No comment anymore. It's personnel. She took care of it.
I will look for it.
Representative Hill?
Mr. Chair, with all due respect and all that pertaining to what transpired, as she quoted and all that, everything that we hear today, if something happens, HR will take care of it and all that. But when you look at the person that committed an offense, okay, they call it a prime suspect or whatever, in reference to this incident that happened, transpired, okay, it's what you call falsified government official document. That is not a misdemeanor, okay? That's a felony. Just because you only moved this teacher to another classroom to avoid being in contact with the other 2 children that she signed forgery for the teachers and all that, just because you moved her to another room, that does not take care of a problem or a situation. That's the point with our law today. Y'all are too lenient. It's right there to prove, okay? What more do y'all need? Do y'all need to go down there sometime and see if there's lice on the children's head? And not only that, if you had qualified people working in different positions that we had in the Seminole Nation, if it happened and the lady or whoever wrote that thing said there was lice, do y'all know that y'all have specialized medication that you can give to the parents to take home with them? Did they do it? No. When do we draw a line that we need to start taking proper actions on incidents that occur? All we do is pet the person in the back. Don't do it again, okay? See you later. You get your paycheck 2 weeks ago, okay? And then when they get their paycheck, you never see them out there anyway. Thank you.
I don't know the specifics except what's been discussed here. I don't know what,
We were before last, just last week, the weekend before last.
all right,
Tuesday, Friday.
okay.
But it
All
has been
right,
taken
any
care
other
of.
questions? Okay, if there's not,
Chair, can we get
Representative.
started on the agenda, please?
Okay,
We might
all
have
right.
to have a third meeting.
Thank you, Ms. Post Oak, thank you. I'll look into that. I'm not aware of, the specifics on that case, but I will look into what has been alleged here. Okay. Representative Petit, then Representative Cootie.
Environmental health, please.
We're still in directors. They asked for these particular directors before we took the break, so.
Summer Jennings, Director for Environmental Health. Hi. Okay.
Ms. Jennings, in December, I attempted to ask you about what was the status of this plan that the council had asked you to implement regarding the water and sewer on the mission grounds, as well as the Veterans Center. Could you give me any updates on what's taking place?
So the projects are with the suite of projects under the, with I think 8 other ARPA projects on the CMGC contracting method, where all the projects are being done in tandem for completion. We've got a design management team that's in place, construction management team that's in place, and they're developing plans and activities to try to get those finished as quickly as possible.
Okay, I'm aware that this council had instructed you to implement the program, so we're probably kind of stuck on that, I'm going to say. But could you explain to the council what $61,515 was spent on out of TR 2275? Where those funds went? That's one on this.
Wastewater?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the wastewater?
Yeah, it's the
Yes,
overall water and
TR
wastewater
75 and 76.
resolution. No, you're fine.
There was some identified issues within OAP outside the building that that were identified after we opened, and that was part. Everybody's still standing. It was used for that wastewater to correct those issues where we were, where it was brought to council, with it backing up and having sluggish drain. So most of that was where that was spent on wastewater infrastructure.
So is the executive's decision that that was used appropriately? Because whenever we appropriate that money, it's for a specific purpose, and that's kind of getting into the kind of gray area as to whether or not that's a part of.
Wastewater is
developing the whole
wastewater.
plan. Well, you can say it. Like I say, I feel like we've got stuck on this because we used the word implement, and the AG informed us what that definition was. But I'm just saying I would like to know what the broader plan is. I'm sure a lot of these people would like to know what that is.
So the proper plans, which was 2 resolutions to address the wastewater issue that we've known has been existent for decades, which includes for the main campus, a new lagoon cell, which is going to include wastewater lines and everything else infrastructure-wise. It's the scope of the project, right? That's what the SLFRF notation in the resolution states, is that we're going to follow those rules. Within those rules, it's allowable. With the the project that's at the Veterans Center. That is going to include new water lines, as well as wastewater lines, as well as a cell. It's going to also, within green space resolution, allow for a new restroom facility and a RV dump station. Yay, bells. So it is all within the final rule, and it is all within the resolution. They're just not written in a way that prevents us from executing all of the final rule. I mean, we could get it to where we're restrictive with the language, but we chose not to do that.
Okay, so this, you said you've hired a construction consultant now to provide you information and obtain estimates and design this program, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Have they given y'all any information to date as to what their anticipated cost is going to be of that?
It's going to cost what was appropriated.
The $2.5 million?
Essentially.
Okay. And so would you give a word to this council today that we no longer would need to appropriate any additional funds to that project?
For wastewater?
For what? For, it says wastewater and sewer.
That's the same thing.
I know, but I'm just saying that, but
Yeah.
fresh water too.
Yeah, the sewer, which is where that 66,000 came out of, was to address sewer issues.
Okay, which is what you addressed so far out of that. So there's, what, a little over 2.2, I think, yeah, okay, yeah, 2.4 million, 2,438,485 left for you to conclude the fresh water and wastewater on this mission grounds.
Not fresh water.
Is that not what was in that resolution?
No. That resolution was tabled at one point, and then it failed at the general council level, and that was for $10 million. This resolution is specific to wastewater in accordance with the final rule. If there is in fact a need for certain and specific elements of fresh water that are for the scope of the project, then it qualifies under the final rule.
Okay, then correct me if I'm reading this wrong, because the next to the last paragraph says, now therefore be it resolved that the General Council of Seminole Nation, Oklahoma hereby approves a one-time appropriation of $2,500,000 from the American Rescue Plan Act 2021 to the Mexican Mission Sanitation Project for the purposes of necessary improvements to the water, sewer, lagoon, and wastewater infrastructure system. So you're telling me we're not going to have any fresh running water out here then?
Not with that. I mean, add the math. And again, take it into the context of the entire resolution. Read the heading, please.
Tribal resolution of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma approving a one-time appropriation of $2,500,000 from the American Rescue Plan Act of funds to the Mexican Mission water and wastewater system.
Yeah, and that's part of it, the water and wastewater.
So we're not going to get any new wells out here of fresh run water, so
Not out of
under
that-
ARPA rules, I believe.
Not out of that resolution, no.
And why would that not be? Does that water, mission water, are you telling me that's separate? We should have passed another resolution?
Correct. We proposed one and it failed.
I know you proposed one that failed, but I think most of the council here, that failed because we were not given any information regarding any projected numbers.
I can't
any
agree with
estimates or
that.
anything.
Can't agree with that statement. But that money was in turn utilized for a second distribution. So there's no money remaining.
You yourself told us from the floor and told us when I was a band chief that we had to pass these resolutions before you could get estimates and everything of this. And under the ARPA rules and guidelines, it says that those funds can be used for cost to even consultants and stuff like that. So we should have been able to use some of that money for that purpose to start these plans.
So the plans there's been 2 feasibility studies done historically here. The latest was in 2017 at a cost of about $250,000 for the assessment. That assessment hasn't changed. The linear footage of what was needed, the estimates you can use simple equation of today's inflation and dollar to determine how much that would cost. All that information was provided to the council in March through April, whenever it was brought back to the floor and finally failed. And it was worse because it didn't include 2 facilities. So that assessment in itself, I mean, it would, you know, if you want to appropriate 300,000 for an assessment that's going to take 6, 8, 10 months after we secure somebody, I mean, this is what we tried to do with the 10 million when we requested an appropriation so that we could do that. You got to spend money to get these things. Without an appropriation, we couldn't hire anybody. And general counsel shot it down. It's discouraging.
So just what I'm gathering from this is we'll be able to flush the toilet, we just won't have water to refill it.
Out of this resolution, no.
Okay, thank you.
Out of another resolution, it's allowable, but not out of this resolution.
Well, I'll leave that up to the
Representative
nice
Shaw.
department what that says.
Well, I know that, there's no need in having a swimming pool over there if we don't have water for it. And I'm sure not gonna pay the city of Bowlegs for using our own water. That water they're coming out of the ground.
2 separate resolutions.
You got a separate
We-
resolution?
We will, no, these projects are separate resolutions.
Well,
We will have water for the swimming pool.
well, now you can't have water for the swimming pool and not enough infrastructure for this complex. And then the other thing, yeah,
It's within the scope of the project. We will have water for the swimming pool.
I'm trying to help the most people. I'm not trying to worry about a special project where 30 people are gonna.
Well, if you want to help most people, then the original water project that was presented, if I remember correctly, your band was one of the bands that voted it down. And that would have took care of all of Miccosukee.
I wasn't on the council at that time because I was working for the nation.
I didn't say you were, I said your band.
The thing is, it failed, and I have asked on more than one occasion for it to be brought back to the floor. It's never been brought back to the floor. It doesn't say anywhere in there that $5 million? Something like that was appropriated for water and sewage?
No.
2.5? Okay, 2.5 million was appropriated for that. That's never been rescinded, so that money's sitting there somewhere.
Of course.
So why not bring it back and go ahead and get it done? Because we've got to have water out here, even to wash your hands, you know.
We can bring it back under new business and try to downsize it from its original proposal. We can do that.
Well, I thought that's what I've been talking about all this time. I guess I've been talking.
Well, I know you've been a proponent of trying to get better water, overall better water here at Miccosukee, and we definitely can bring it up. We'll try to draft something like that. And do you want to sponsor that, Representative Shaw?
Well, it's gonna have to be pretty quick for us to allocate that money.
Well,
Y'all are dragging your feet to the point.
no, we're not dragging our feet. We're not dragging our
We
feet.
don't even know how much money we got.
We're not dragging our feet. I want you to know we're going as quickly as humanly possible to get these projects done. Now, I will share this with you, though. We can bring that. It will extend it to 26, okay? So we'll have time, to implement it. So we'll bring it up in resolution form. Do you want to sponsor that?
Yes, I'll sponsor it.
Great.
That's the majority of the people.
Great. Okay, let's move on. Thank you. Yes, Representative Hill? Is Lighthorse present? They were here earlier. Well, here they are. Place your guns on the counter, please. I'm teasing you.
Now I know why they call y'all light horses. Y'all were very light in coming up here, okay? Mr. Coker, Chris, you don't mind me calling you Dad?
Yeah.
I've heard things about your department pertaining to your low on police officers and that you needed some, but as of right now, I believe the federal government gives you roughly around $420,000 a year, okay? So I believe that might have to do with inmates being incarcerated in other towns, etc. But can you kind of briefly tell us how much money you're getting, how many staff you got, and if you're hurting? And if not, you know, let me know. And also, if you're down on funds, okay, if you're using it all up, you know what I mean? Can you kind of briefly tell the council, please?
That's not good. Yeah, we get 419 so thousand from the federal government for incarceration fees. We spent close to $1 million this year alone on incarceration fees. We've burned through our carryover money that we've had through the years. Yeah, we're running out of money. We have about $30,000 left for incarceration fees. I mean, this is nothing really new. He said it was coming. You know, it's here. Yeah, we have 16 staff. But yeah, we're kind of in dire straits right now, to be honest. Yeah, so we're definitely going to need some financial assistance. We reached out to the BIA because our 3-year contract's up. It's up in July. Back 2 years ago, we had a meeting with the Bureau, promising meeting that they believed, you know, create a budget, shoot for the stars, you'll get something. We'll help you out. No, it's not coming. I just had a meeting with them, I believe it was like last week or it might have been 2 weeks ago. There's no new increase, anything like that.
Okay, I see what you're going through and all that pertaining to, you know, you're losing money like, you know, you're just losing a lot of money. My question to you would be this: you as a Light Horse Police Chief, okay, I want you to think about this, see, maybe you'll agree with me or not. We're losing a lot of money because of inmate incarceration in different towns, jails where they're at. It could be for DUI, DWI, whatever. They could be in a drunk tank or they could be in a holding cell. But there are people, okay, and that's what we're paying the fee for them to be housed overnight, daily, or whatever, okay? Am I right?
Yes.
My question would be this: we have a building downtown here in Seminole on 4th and Oak Street, okay? It's been sitting there like Griswold Mansion, getting rotten, just like everything else that we buy, okay? What is the chances of turning that to the Light Horse Seminole Police Chief Headquarters there? You can have a holding cell in there. You could have a drunk tank in there. You've got area on the west side that you can park your police cars and everything. We would be adjacent to the Seminole Police Department. We would be in the dead center of Seminole, the town of Seminole. Y'all could work close to the police people, and also we would have our own building where we can incarcerate, house our inmates, and we could save money. Has anybody ever spoke to you about that or anything?
We have not that particular area, not there, but we've discussed building a detention center because right now we probably, that place down there is not going to hold 90 people. That's about what we have now, I believe, incarcerated. But we've discussed a possibility of building something. You know, the other civilized tribes, they're not building a jail either. You know, take for instance the Creek Nation, they pay $2.5 million a month for incarceration fees. This is McGirt, this is the effect of it, and we just need a little more finance, a little more money.
See, I understand where you're coming from and all that, and I'll get off after this, okay? Where you're coming from and all that. But here, we look around, we hear that we're purchasing buildings for $100,000, et cetera, and we got inmates that we're paying their fee to stay there, and here we can't even use that building that's open to us and all that. You got a doggone big building sitting up there called Grisso Mansion that half of the council representatives don't want to sell it. I guess they want to keep it for looks or whatever, okay? We could be using that money to be helping y'all out as our light horse. But somebody's going to have to act upon it, okay? And we can't continue to see y'all doing your job night and day, and you're on call 24 hours, okay, 24/7, and you're running out of money. And we're just paying too many other towns to keep our tribal members, you know. What about Sac and Fox, the detention center? We don't use that no more?
No, we use that.
We pay them about $150 a day per juvenile at that facility.
150?
150 a day, yeah. And we're not just talking about Seminole Nation members that are being arrested. This is all tribes. And if you're Native American, you're under our bill, so we're paying for it.
We pay for somebody else's tribe as inmates. They're locked up.
Yeah, if they're arrested here
In the county.
in within our nation, if they're arrested here, yes, we get the bill for it. That goes along with our cross-dep agreements with Seminole County, Wewoka. So if they make an arrest on a Native American, any Native American, and they go to jail, they're essentially our responsibility to pay for it. I'm Jeremiah Tallahassee. I'm the captain, by the way. I don't know if some of y'all. So.
It's the same thing holds true if a tribal member, Seminole Nation tribal member, is arrested in Durham. Then the Choctaw Nation would pay for their incarceration.
Yes. Whatever reservation they're in, that's who's picking up the bill for.
Representative Shaw? I understand where you're coming from. I've been around jails all my life. Seems like it anyway. We're talking about saving money. Why don't we have a bracketed setup like the state has? If I arrest you today for public drunk, I can hold you 6 hours and turn you loose on a PR bond or stuff like that?
Well, we do. There is a bond schedule. The courts do have a bond schedule. So if somebody's arrested solely on public intox, they're held for 12 hours in that facility and then they're released.
Then how about, what if you got somebody that's picked up there that's not on public intox, it gets vagrancy or trespass?
There is a bond schedule, and they can bond out. There are certain crimes, there are certain crimes that have to be set by a judge, and they have to see a judge prior to that. But for the most part, most crimes already have a bond set.
What's taking so long for our jail over there to, or our court system not setting that? You said they got a bond set. They only meet twice a week, and that 2 times a week. If I get picked up on, let's say they met on Thursday, I get picked up Thursday afternoon. They don't meet again until next Tuesday. I'm sitting there 5 or 6 days that we're paying for. Why can't they just say, okay, the bond's set, call it in and get them out? I know that in Oklahoma County, because I did a lot of work out of Oklahoma and McLean counties over there, that when somebody was picked up, they took them in and they didn't have to go before the judge. It there's already set bonds for those. So if the man couldn't make bond, then he had to go to a judge. But there's so many of them can make bond and get out, and we're sitting here holding them and paying for an extra, what are we paying over here, $65?
Seminole County, we're paying $50. Okfuskee County, we're paying $31 until July, and then that'll be going up to $35. And then at Pot County, we're paying $60. And as I said, Sac and Fox, we're paying $150 a day.
Sound like somebody's making some money on it, because it don't take $150 a day to take care of those juveniles.
They are the only game in town. If you're a Native American child, that's the only game. Everybody else is all state, and the state does not want to have a contract with us.
I know that our nation helped them build that. We went in with them and helped them write letters and stuff to get that detention center for that. They ought to take that a little bit, but that's up to y'all. Y'all are the negotiators on that. But we do need quit letting our Seminole sit over here in that jail over here more than 2 days without at least going to court. And I wouldn't be saying that, but it came to us in my band.
Yeah, that's a question, it's a question for the court. Why?
Would that be for who? The judges?
Tribal court.
The judges? Or would that
The director of tribal court.
or would that be up to Tim Brown?
You can speak with the judge, you can speak with Linda Stewart.
The judge needs to speak with?
Yeah, you can speak with Judge Barnes or Linda Stewart or whoever's over the court system.
Yeah, you don't think about those things until something happens, not family, or it can be family, or somebody you know.
Yeah.
And that's the reason I'm asking these questions, because you probably know who I'm talking about. But he was arrested and had to sit in there 6 days before he could get out, because somebody didn't get the proper paperwork to the judges.
Yeah.
And what?
We get them to the jail. It's their responsibility to get the paperwork over there,
Are they just not doing it?
It's sometimes it's just simply maybe they forget. Once again, I don't want to speak for them because I don't know what they're doing.
We've had several meetings over the course of time to try to remedy some of the concerns that has been brought up, and we're trying to arrive at how do we expedite where we can. The courts are overwhelmed everywhere in Indian country since the McGirt ruling, so the courts were well aware of it. They're well aware that executive wants those folks to get if they have to be in jail, get out as soon as possible, so we don't have to pay as much. I mean, that's.
There's one way to remedy that, is if they sit in jail because the paperwork didn't get in, we charge them. We charge them. I mean, you can do it too, because they charge. I worked at the prison. We didn't get a person to the court on Monday when he's supposed to have been there. And we didn't get him up there, and we had to reset and go back on Thursday. Those days that he was out, they charged the prison.
I wish.
State charged, the county charged the prison for it.
We can take a look at that if that's a legitimate way to do it. Representative Cootie, then Representative Lena, and then we're going to move on.
Yeah, I don't know why y'all have never requested having our old building, through to this council. And I don't know, council people, we have things that we're supposed to be working for the people. And there's things that we need to do for our people. And just like Chief said, indoor-outdoor swim pool, that's fine. But I think more important things is something like they're talking about. We need that for our own kids. And not only that, we did not, since I've been back in the 80s, and from that point on, I've heard funeral home, nursing home. It's a shame that we don't think about those things for these people. And who are we concerned about? Indoor, outdoor, you're gonna go swimming every day, maybe a good exercise for you, but I don't, we have to stop and think, a lot of our elders, they don't have a car. They can't get out here. If you provide transportation, I mean, I still think it's better that those dollars that are geared for indoor, outdoor swimming pool be redirected to nursing home or a facility like this Light Horseman needs. That's important. We're talking about our tribal members again. Here we go again. These people can't fend for themselves. We are here to do a better job for them so that we can have these things when they're needed. Nursing home, you have elders in homes, not on reservation or not with the people, their own people. You go visit with them and have prayers with them, sing with them. They cry, they say they want to be home. So I look at it and think, well, you know, if we had our own facility, we wouldn't have to do this. They could be around their own people, talking to their people. And so these are the kind of things we got to look at, people. We're more in for entertainment. That's nor here or there. I think we have to think about the people. Let's stop thinking about something else that's beautified, whatever. The older people don't come out here and look and see and say, oh, how beautiful this is. The only time they come, some of them, is at Seminole Nation Days. And I think right now it's about time we start thinking about facility for detention center, facility for nursing home, facility for funeral home. Because funeral is getting expensive out there. We can have our own where the money comes back into the tribe. That's what we have to look at. Anything that we have, money stays within the tribe. We give to everybody else. And people are getting ahead of us and we're sitting right here doing nothing. So I think that as a director, you need to request funds from this tribe, from this council.
If I remember right, we've given over $1 million in the last few months.
I'm still talking.
You gotta remember what you pass.
Excuse me?
We've given over $1 million additional funds.
I'm still talking. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If whatever I say, I have to get it off my chest. So if you request it from this council and we turn it down, we're not doing our job. So I think that's one of the things that we need to start looking at and other things that I'm talking about. So until that happens, I just don't think we're doing the right thing for our people. So, but as far as yours, I don't know how many staff you have right at this point. I think I talked to a couple of you, and I think you had like 15.
Yes, 16.
Staff. I know when we had problems, when we woke up, a lot of you spent a lot of time there, and so I don't know how well the we woke up policemen were. I hardly ever see them going in and around checking. But, you know, this is what you have to look at. What is your need? Is it important to us, to the tribe? Well, go from there, you know. And so sometimes we just close our eyes and say, hey, this is what chief wants, we're going to pass it. No, we got to stop and think about it.
No tribe is touching detention centers because they do the feasibility studies.
But I hope that you can request something from this tribe and see what we can do. Sure.
Okay.
And our,
Mr. Coker, you know exactly what's needed, and you know what we need to do to save money. So do you have any plans, that's in your mind and your administration's mind, that what can we do?
The saving money part, I mean, let me be clear, on the people that we incarcerate, this isn't just some public drunk or just some warrant arrest. These are violent crimes. We're not even being proactive. That's not even rapes, sexual assault. I know there was some misconception, they're just going around picking up drunks, and no, these incarcerates, legit,
Okay, you know, I talked to a young man at my work, you know, and I believe he was with the Chickasaws. He might have been incarcerated with the Chickasaw Nation or something. Anyway, he said he talked to a young man, you know, that he was doing 3 years in there, you know, and when I asked, I said, well, they don't give good time there. I said, federal and state, they do, without worrying about it. So therefore, I looked into it a little more, and I talked to the administration. And they said, it doesn't bother us if they give good time or not. We'll do it. All we got to do is get the okay from your tribe, their tribe, this tribe. So if we could save money if we had that good time implemented into our sentences.
Any other questions? Representative Fulbright.
This will hopefully be the last statement or question. We did talk about a jail before on this floor. We did pros and cons, and it was the cost. I mean, and none of the other tribes are doing it because of that reason. And it's a lot of red tape.
It is. That's why no one's wanting to do this. But the thing I would definitely look at, the thing that the saving money thing, we try that more. I think it's making money, finding a way for another revenue source.
Finding the source.
If we're going to, me personally, I would build the juvenile detention center.
It's, it's a social society issue of the larger society. Of course, it's an Indian country now. The bottom line is we got a lot of folks committing crimes, more than what we ever thought we did before McGirt. So now, usually tribes make up the difference in some way through their economic development portfolio. Believe you me, those big tribes, the four bigger tribes than us, I think at least 3 of them, if they could have their way, they'd wish McGirt would go away. That's the way I look at it. They make moves to try to make that happen. But the thing of it is this right here is we got a lot of crimes, and we're being forced to have to pay for those incarcerates, and it costs a lot of money. Let's move on from here.
Yeah, I just want to say one thing real quick, and I just want to give praise to my guys, because during this whole situation, they have been, taking time from their families, taking time from, their personal life, and they stuck it out with us, and these guys did a lot, and I just wanted to make sure that they're recognized on this floor.
I know the Creek Nation, it was said in passing a couple months ago, and Attorney General brought it back up to my attention. They're considering bringing something to the Seminole Nation on a potential detention center. So we may have news, in that arena. They know it costs a lot of money. They believe you. I don't know if it'll actually get to the passage of a bill, but it's being proposed. Okay, I think with no further ado, let's move on from here. Thank you, Light Horse. Okay, all right. Let's go to the resolutions under new business now. The first on the agenda is the tribal ordinance 2024-05, Representative Anthony Conley.
A tribal ordinance of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma, amending the Seminole Juvenile Code at Title 19 of the Seminole Nation Code of Laws to add a new chapter 4A titled Juvenile Health and Wellness Court.
Attorney General, you want to, if they have any questions on this, he makes a motion, and is there a second? Okay, there's a motion by Representative Conley, second by Representative Sampson. We're in discussion right now. This is TO 2024-05. Any discussion?
You don't mind me saying, he's got one, just for Tuesday's election, get out and vote. We have to try to learn that shirt. So, just want to say that, Seminole County.
All right, TO 2024-05. There's no discussion. This secretary called the roll, no discussion.
Leetta Sampson.
Yes.
Anthony Conley.
Yes.
John Narkemy.
Yes.
Rena Tiger.
Yes.
Ida Gonzalez.
Yes.
Nancy Fixico.
Yes.
Leon Petit.
Yes.
David Narkemy.
Yes.
Joseph Billy.
Yes.
Karen Fulbright.
Yes.
Ann Borba.
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert.
Yes.
Sina Yeslett. Lottie Cootie.
Yes.
Henson Lena.
Yes.
Richmond Larney.
Yes.
Tiffany Thunder.
Yes.
Wayne Shaw.
Yes.
Catherine McCoy.
No.
Charlie Hill.
No.
Willis Dethridge.
Yes.
Desiree Emerton.
Yes.
I have 19 yeses.
You skipped me.
What does that count? What does that count?
Okay.
Ms. Harjo? Ms. Harjo? I think she's left her, she's on virtual, and that's coming from there.
Yeah, she skipped me.
Okay. Yes, they can talk.
Okay.
They call your name?
Yes.
Okay.
Who's that, Tamina?
Oh, how about Mr. Chupko?
Tommy Chupko? Can you hear me?
He's not online right now. Okay.
Hang on. Dolores Harjo, can you hear me? She's not online. She's not online? Okay. I have 20 yeses, 2 noes, 0 abstain.
With a count of 20 yes, 2 no, 0 abstentions, I declare TO 2024-05 to have passed. TO 2024-06, Representative Conley.
A travel ordinance of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma, amending section 607 of the Seminole Nation Motor Vehicle Restoration Code, modified to chapter 6, title 28 to the Seminole Nation Code of Laws to expand the application of the codes to the enrolled citizens of the Seminole Nation.
There's a motion on the floor. Is there a second? Second by Representative Sampson. This is TO 2024-06. Any discussion? Representative Dethridge.
Sponsor this legislation. I know it's not required by law, but the sponsor did not have any consultation with the Business Corporate Regulatory Commission over making a change to our code, and it's basically bypassed that process that it should be in place by code, but it is not. So just letting people know.
Well, I didn't know I had to do that. I took it to the chief.
Yeah, like you said, there's no provision that it does it. Everybody knows what this proposed amendment is. Enrolled citizens of the Seminole Nation has to do with car tags, I believe. Okay. Any other discussion? No other discussion? Secretary, call the roll.
Leetta Sampson.
Yes.
Anthony Conley.
Yes.
John Narkemy.
No.
Rena Tiger.
No.
Ida Gonzalez.
No.
Nancy Fixico.
No.
Leon Petit,
Yes.
David Narkemy,
Yes.
Joseph Billy,
Yes.
Karen Fulbright,
Yes.
Ann Borba,
No.
Stephanie Lambert,
No.
Sina Yeslith, Lottie Cootie,
Yes.
Henson Lena,
No.
Richmond Larney,
No.
Tiffany Thunder,
No.
Wayne Shaw,
No.
Catherine McCoy,
No.
Charlie Hill,
No.
Danita Harjo,
No.
Willis Dethridge,
No.
Desiree Emerton.
No.
I have 7 yeses, 15 noes, 0 abstain.
With a count of 7 yes and 15 no and 0 abstentions, I declare TO 2024-06 to have failed. TR 2024-35. Representative Pittman isn't here.
I got
Okay, Representative Gonzalez.
a tribal resolution of the General Council of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma approving the budget modification for law enforcement and incorporate of said budget into the FY 2024 comprehensive budget and authorizing appropriation. I make a motion to approve and I ask for a second.
I second.
Motion to approve by Representative Gonzalez, it was seconded by Representative Fixico. We are now in discussion, TR 2024-35.
Quick question.
Representative Dethridge.
I heard Chief of Police said that they had 16 employees. With the passage of this legislation, will they lose 4 of these employees? Or is that answer, no, they will not?
I don't believe that they'll lose those employees. They're filling that employment up to as if this was going to pass. If it doesn't pass, then they will fulfill that.
Let's just do the math. I don't know that.
Are they still here? Is Lighthorse still here? Have them come up. Restate your question, Representative Dethridge.
Yes, sir. Chief Coker, Captain Tallahassee, my question is, I heard earlier that y'all had 16 employees at the library. How many patrol officers do you have with that 16? How many of them?
Right now, we're at 15. So what this legislation will do, we have hired 2 off of that. It'll remove the other positions that have not been hired yet. So we're not losing anybody, but they were vacant positions.
Due to the overwhelming cost of housing detainees at Seminole County Jail, Oklahoma County Jail, and Potawatomi County Jail, law enforcement seeks a budget modification to implement the LATC funding to reduce the number of police officers to 4 and move funding to contractual detention. When our band chief read this to us at a band level, it appears as if you were going to reduce the number of police officers to 4. I told our band chief at that time, or our band rather, that that's not how I understood it when I spoke to Chief Coker about this, but the legislation says you're going to lose 4, and I could not get them I couldn't convince our band. So I'm going to just tell you, our band is going to vote no on this because of the way the legislation reads. I personally hope it passes, but just to let you know.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions? TR 2024-35. Turn that mic off if you would as well. Thank you. Okay, if there's no other questions for this, then Secretary called a roll. This is TR 2024-35.
Leatta Sampson,
Yes.
Anthony Conley,
Yes.
John Narcome,
Yes.
Rena Tiger,
Yes.
Ida Gonzalez,
Yes.
Nancy Fixico,
Yes.
Leon Petit,
Yes.
David Narcome,
Yes.
Joseph Billy, Karen Fulbright,
Yes.
Ann Borba,
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert,
Yes.
Lottie Cootie,
Yes.
Ensign Lena,
Yes.
Richmond Larney,
Yes.
Tiffany Thunder,
No.
Wayne Shaw,
No.
Catherine McCoy,
Yes.
Charlie Hill,
Yes.
Danita Harjo,
Yes.
Willis Dethridge,
No.
with Desiree Emerton.
No.
I have 17 yeses, 4 noes, 0 abstain.
With a count of 17 yes, 4 noes, 0 abstentions, I declare TR 2024-35 to have passed.
Chair, that's 17, 5, and 0.
Okay, is that a correction?
Yes, it is.
Okay, correction by the council secretary. The count is 17 yes, 5 no, and 0 abstentions. I still declare that TR 2024-35 to have passed. I will bring this up. We got a proposed budget and a comprehensive budget for the LATCF funds we went after and was able to obtain that has helped cover a lot of our budgets over the course of the last year. There was, and I believe with HPO, it's proposed for LATCF at 100%. Budget officer, is she there? And it's germane to what we're just talking about, okay? Now, on the HPO budget, it's 100% LATCF, isn't it? 100%. Let me make this known to the tribal council, and it was during the last administration. Remember that TCNS funds that kept coming back over and over to get more police officers? I don't know, $200,000 I think it was at the time. I'm pretty sure it was 200,000. Okay, now when when that finally come back for the third or fourth time to the council, they finally approved it. Now, in that last administration, that was never enacted. Never enacted. Matter of fact, they was going to go buy vehicles with it and not bring on more police officers. But that's still an active resolution. And we're paying for the 100% of HPO. Executive office will execute that resolution according to the way it originally was told it was going to be spent. Not take it after you get it and go spend it on something else. So we're going to execute that resolution. We'll help you out a little bit more. I want you to know that, Council. Thank you. All right, TR 2024-36.
A tribal resolution of the General Council of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma approving the budget modification of the Early Head Start 2024 budget for cost of living adjustment. I make a motion to approve and ask for a second.
Second.
And there's a motion by Representative Gonzalez, seconded by Representative Fixico. We're in discussion. Representative McCoy.
Could we combine it with 37 and vote on it together?
There's a request to combine both TR 2024-36 and 37 together and vote on it at the same time. Is that accepted?
Yes.
It's accepted. Okay, I want to Representative Dethridge.
Got a question?
Okay.
Ms. Gonzalez?
Yes.
This says vote yes if the COLA stays at 2.35. I see where y'all are taking money away from the food for the kids to get a 3% raise. That's what the Finance Committee has chosen to do. My
Well,
question
this is due to a notice of award that they got from the government program. So we're not taking money away, the money was there, and they had to do it that way. That's the way the, well, if she's here, she can explain.
Robin's here and the budget officer is here.
Yes, ma'am. 2.35% is what you were authorized for, or were y'all authorized for a 3% raise?
We were authorized for a 2.35% raise to stay within the travel pay scale and have to be 3%.
And so y'all chose to take $10,000 away from feeding the kids, or thereabouts, some money, correct?
What we did was we moved some of that money around because we actually get reimbursements from CFP. And when our 25 budgets come out, those will be, we'll have our CFP.
Speak through the microphone, please, so it can be picked up through the recording.
This is what we seen at our band. Is that on page, I'll call it page 4 supplies. Line item 5235, food. We were budgeted $29,061, minus $10,000 makes it $19,061. So that's where the $10,000 is going to come from, that makes you get this 3% raise, but you only were actually authorized 2.35. Our budget schedule, our wage schedule says, no, we don't do 2.35, we do 3%. And so y'all took $10,000 out of a line item. That particular line item happened to be food. So it looked to us at our band that you were taking $10,000 worth of food away from our kids. And so, again, if this passes, great. If it doesn't, I don't like seeing taking $10,000 away, for food from kids. Thank you. That's all I got.
Any other questions? See none? Secretary, question's been called. Call the roll.
Leanna Sampson,
Yes.
John Narkemy,
Yes.
Rena Tiger,
Yes.
Ida Gonzalez,
Yes.
Nancy Bixico,
Yes.
Leon Petit,
Yes.
David Narkemy,
Yes.
Joseph Billy,
No.
Karen Fulbright,
Yes.
Ann Borba,
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert,
Yes.
Lottie Cootie,
Yes.
Ensign Lena,
Yes. Yes.
Richmond Larney,
Yes.
Tiffany Thunder,
No.
Wayne Shaw,
No.
Catherine McCoy,
Yes.
Charlie Hill,
Yes.
Tommy Chupko,
Yes.
Danita Harjo,
Yes.
Willis Dethridge,
No.
Desiree Emerton.
No.
I have 17 yeses, 5 noes, 0 abstain.
With a count of 17 yes, 5 no, 0 abstentions, TR 2024-36 has passed. Both of them?
Yeah.
Corrected for 36 and 37 have passed. Next item, TR 2024-38. Representative Emerton.
A target resolution of the General Council of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma concerning, I'm sorry, I'm in the wrong one. A resolution of the General Council of Seminole Nation of Oklahoma authorizing the removal of the Bristol Mansion property from the real estate market.
Do we have a?
Oh, good.
We've got a motion by Representative Emerton and a second by Representative Fulbright. We're in discussion. Representative Shaw.
Yes, I'd like to ask a question on this. it's already been voted on to put it on the market. And, we've never heard any negotiations that ever took place or assigned to our administrative office. And the other thing is, if you look at this, Griswold Mansion, there's no kind of a business plan or anything attached to it. In other words, we're reaching in the dark like we did when we bought it. We owe more money on it now than we did when we bought it. So why do we want to keep it and owe more money?
Representative Emerton.
Yes. Well, first of all, we have a possibility of $2 million donation if we can make that a cultural center and museum, or cultural center. We've got a possible donation of $2 million, but we cannot act on anything unless it is taken off the market. Also, we're missing out on, and I looked up on the grants for possible grants for the Griswold Mansion, and just in 7 pages out of 98 pages, there's $181,700,000 that we could be reaching into, but we cannot do anything and we cannot plan anything until we take it off the Griswold, take it off the market, take it off the sale market. Right now, there are many ideas to bring in income and revenue. There are, I presented that to the council in a presentation, but we cannot move forward and do anything before the Griswold Mansion was taken off of the, was closed down. It was bringing in revenue, and it started to be where it was paying for itself, but everything was stopped. So that's why I'm asking for it to be taken off the sale market. Also, in July 2020, July 9th, we were re-acknowledged as a reservation. There are problems with selling property that is on our reservation. I've talked to a few people on the council and off the council who, why are we selling any part of our reservation? We should be buying our property back because of things that happened in the past. You know, we don't own our reservation, and this is just one step. These are some donations, possible grants, and things that we can be doing where, like I said, it was starting to generate revenue, things were closed down. There was a resolution where we were supposed to quarterly put $60,000 onto the council, onto the general Griswold Mansion property to pay for it, and it was ceased, and there was never any payments. So things have happened, yes, I understand that, but we need to use what we have to generate revenue so we can help supplement the light horse, supplement other things that we fall short on, and also we can also help those who live off of the reservations for any kind of services. That's why I'm looking at taking that off of the market so we can plan. So we can plan, do things, and reach out for this money that the government is giving for grants, and also this $2 million donation that we could put in for.
It sounds good, but the thing is, there's no business plan. Have y'all studied how much it costs just for insurance per year?
No.
Almost every grant and every bidding you just talked about is about what it's gonna cost just for the insurance. That's not being upkeep, that's not taking care of your utilities. So this tribe is still gonna be forking out money on it. That's not gonna pay for the, what do you call it, the loan, not gonna make loan payments. So why do we wanna play send off? Bottom line.
Why are we gonna sell part of our reservation? That was one of the main things too. We just got re-acknowledged as having, this is our reservation. The Griswold Mansion, to me, it's irrelevant. The property itself is our reservation, our property. In the perfect world, we would have, as the Seminole Nation, all of our reservations for the Seminole Nation. We do not currently have that. We can look at doing things, like I said, to take it off, even just for a couple of years, so we can plan. Right now, we owe more than what it's going to appraise for. we've got to invest something into it, at least to give it up to standards of what it's gonna appraise for.
Like I said, we owe more than it's appraised. If we can get the appraised price, that's a lot less than what we owe on it now. So be practical. And that, you know, it sounds good. Lip service sounds good anytime. But the thing is, unless I see a business plan, something that's gonna be definite anymore, I'm gonna have to let you know that I'm opposing it, because I just don't believe that this will work. They had a hard enough time in my band passing it. They had to call in their relatives to get it passed in my band. People that never came back.
These are ideas that are out there, but we cannot act upon these ideas on the sale market. I understand a lot of people's concerns, but also, you know, there's so many ideas out there. There's pots of money, like I said. Out of this amount that I've given you for the grants, that's only page 7 out of 98. So in order to go forward, yes, I know that Bristol Mansion needs a lot of work. I've walked through it, I've seen it, but it's got a lot more potential with the grants that we can get if it's off the market. Somebody talked about a feasibility study. If it's still in the market, we can't invest all of that money into just a study. So, you know, even that, I would, you know, people were talking about taking it off so we can do all of these things.
Well, like I said, you know, I have to see all this other stuff.
I see, and I will say that we have been approached about a $2 million donation. Obviously, what she's saying is true. I will also say that in the comprehensive budget of 2024, the council passed in the opioid budget to be able to find a place to house the administration offices of the opioid program. You know, you sit there where you're at. I sit there where I'm at. When I came into office, we had a $2 million grant. A $2 million loan we didn't know nothing about. Everybody's faced with pressures of trying to make us not to go into default on anything. You directed the executive office to not allow that. Wayne, with a resolution on the Phillips property, we got that thing off and paid for. You sponsored that resolution. Within the food initiative and food sovereignty initiative, we paid the winery off. We are close to being, out of debt. Within the comprehensive budget for the opioid program, we was to find office space for the opioid program. We're in the process of doing that as I speak. And we were up against an amortization fault. In other words, when you direct me not to allow things go into default, I've got to try to find solutions for that. One of those solutions was, and we checked with Kevin Washburn, who is the administrator of the grant for the settlement. And you know those settlements was never tried to go after by any other administration till I brought it to you as a council, and we received that. We are to receive potentially up to $6 million from that. We received $2 million of it just in the last year. And in doing so, everybody's faced with decisions that they must make. You meet quarterly or at special call meetings. We have those pressures every day at executive. We had that payoff coming up for the Gristo. Executive must act in good favor and good faith on behalf of this nation. So with a portion of the opioid funds, we did pay a percentage of the Gristo down. So you owe about $500,000 now instead of the original amount. Now what does that mean? Well, if we still sell it, we better reimburse the opioid program if we still sell it. But I want you to know we're in better financial condition now than we have ever been in the history of the Seminole Nation contemporary. You might say, well, what? Well, yeah, it passed at council. under the opioid budget. I mean, I wouldn't have even implemented it had it not been there, okay? And it is there. But, so we actually owe about, we were forced to have to do something or come up with $1.5 million, you know, or have it. We were still paying on it, but why not take it down? And if we do sell it eventually, one day, or whatever the council decides here, we must do it. I see hands up. I'm explaining something so you'll understand, you know, the total situation. We had Borba, we had Narcomy, we had Cootie, and then way in the back we have another Narcomy, and then McCoy. In that order.
Okay, I've done some research on the Grisso, and I went online, I Googled it, and a lot of the stories would say that Doc Grisso was an oil man, he was a pharmacist. He was also a medical examiner. He was a pharmacist, but he was a medical examiner too. He was also on the Highway Commission. When they were building number 9, they wanted it to go along the tracks on the south side of town. But Doc Grisso got him to change it, and so number 9 goes right in front of the Grisso. You know, a lot of times on commercials, they'll say your location, location, location. The Grisso is in one of the best locations in Seminole. You stop and think about the traffic. How many of y'all go to Walmart? Go right down in front of it. If we get some type of business going, something, we'll be making money. But we need to be seen. We need to let them know that this is Seminole land. This was originally Seminole land. Tukwuji Fixico. I think it was Hobart Fixico. Tukwuji, and it's been spelled 2 different ways, and there was a Johnson Fixico. And they all died within 3 or 4 years. You know, it may be something like the Killers of the Flower Moon. Were they killed for that property? If they were killed for that property, shouldn't we fight for our own property back? And the Suda Fixico. Suda Fixico, I've read in some stories that she was married to Doc Grisso. She was only 5 years old when she died. She had a guardian. And at one time, I think where number 9 was, is where the Grisso burial, their cemetery was. And when they made number 9, they dug those bodies up and they took them to Little. I found the gravestone for Suda Fixico, and right next to her is a tombstone of a young boy, Miko. You know, a lot of people say, you know, the Grisso is haunted. You know, could that little boy that they have possibly seen be Miko? What can we do to honor our ancestors? Let's try to do something that's going to be successful. You guys, look at where CPN is. They started in a little trailer. If we've got that whole frontage on Wrangler Boulevard, can't we do something? Can we be successful? Aren't you willing to fight for your tribe? So let's keep it and do something with it. Make something novel.
Thank you, Representative Borba. Now we have, raise their hands, everybody that had. I'm going to try to remember the order. I believe it was Representative Cootie. It was Representative Narcomy, Cootie, Narcomy, McCoy.
I don't know.
Let's stay in that order.
You answered part of my question. Part of this idea of, you know, what I hear, you know, someone told me this, someone told me that. I was going to ask you, have we paid off part of the risk? And you answered that question. Is there a plan to pay off the rest?
We pay on it every month.
Okay. Beyond the monthly payments. Okay. That answers that question. With the chairman's position, I'd like permission. I'd like to ask a question directly of someone who's in a position to answer the question as to the potential of the Grisso Mansion.
I'd like to ask Representative Lambert, she was at one time in charge of the Grissom Mansion and its business. At one time, was the Grissom Mansion paying its own bills?
It was
Was it?
paying for the maintenance and upkeep, but the executive office was supplementing for the utilities and the payment.
Okay, but it was producing enough business to at least take care of some of its bills?
Yes, for some of its bills. And
I think the proper question was there increments of growth?
yes, there was significant growth.
And in your opinion, is there potential?
In my opinion, it's always going to need to be supplemented by grant funding or tribal funding, just like any other museum that's out there. They're all supplemented by outside funding.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Representative Cootie.
Okay. That was when Grissom went on sale, it was our band who headed up the bid for it and everything, and the council passed it. And the committee was put in place, and they were supposed to have a plan, and this is what they were going to do and everything. There was nothing going on. And so I asked the committee member at that one time, and he said, oh, we only meet when it's important. So, you know, they didn't do anything. I guess they didn't care. And I do know a grant was gotten for that annex, and that was supposed to be a breakfast little restaurant. And so when the grant came in, I think part of it was used and the others don't know what happened to it. I also talked to BIA, see if they would come in and use that building so that they could help pay the rent. And they said they would do it. And I spoke to somebody about it, I guess one of the committee, they didn't go through with it. You know, here we go again. It's the people that we put on the committees. Are they going to push and do the things that they need to do and get it there? No. Is it just for stipend or for per diem or what is it? So, I think it's a good thing, and one of the reasons why my band pushed it to get it was because, like you said, history behind it. We're always talking about our people and the history of it. And same way, and I said, well, why can't we have museum? We WOCA have that museum. You buy stuff, they don't give you discount whether you're a Seminole tribal member or not. And a lot of things that they have in there is not representative of us. And so I think it is, Desiree is right. It's got good potential, but you have to have the right people to push it to get that money coming back. And it can. There's a lot of good things, and we give it up. Somebody else will take over and make it and say, hey, we could have done that. Yeah, but you didn't think about it. So, think about things like that. We got to have good committee and they're business-minded to bring dollars back to this tribe. Here we go again. The government money is going to run out. We've been depending on it. We may be way ahead. We've done good because of, the money situation, but we've had government money we've been appropriating and using it for that purpose and everything. So I think about it very hard and give us a chance, see if we can do something with it. And I know that they had weddings when they were in there before, and they made money on weddings. So, if you need a plan, maybe we need to table this and get a plan together as to what can be done and bring it back. That's my suggestion. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Cootie. Representative Narcomi. Yes, the other Narcomi.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Borba stole most of my thunder, so I'm not going to repeat what she said. But I was here on the council when we voted to purchase that property. And that is stolen land. It's Seminole land. It was stolen from Seminole back in the day. And much like she said, as the Killers of the Flower Moon on the same premise. It is sad to see that we want to sell it. I think that's something that's part of our heritage, it's part of our sovereignty. So why would we want to sell part of our sovereignty back to the white people? So we need to keep that land. If we do nothing else with it, but just let it rot the land, it's still our land. But it has potential, and when we first bought it, I would like to have seen a business plan. I agree with this gentleman here, to have a solid business plan to work for growth and success. When it first started out, it started as a good level, but it wasn't supplemented with enough funding for staffing, for running the property properly, so it began to fall into disrepair. And the people, I'd say the council really gave up on it and just kind of wanted to get rid of it.
It's Representative McCoy that I see. Representative Petit. How many times have you spoken on the subject, Representative Emerton? Once or twice? Once. Okay. Representative McCoy, then Representative Emerton.
I would just like to know who would be writing those grants that you referenced.
I know myself, and I think I had spoken to Ms. Lambert. She said she might be able to, and the other lady wrote the grant for the original one for some transportation. She said she would, be willing to.
So nobody, like a Seminole Nation employee. Do we not have a grants writer anymore, Chair?
We do have grant writers, access to grant writers.
Is this not something that they could do instead
We
of?
have access to really good grant writers. We got over $100-something million worth of grants in the last 18 months.
Okay, and then can you just clarify to make sure I understand about the opioid settlement? You said you used some of that money to pay down the GRISO? Did I misunderstand
No,
that?
the opioid settlement had a provision within the approved budget in the area of acquisition or for office space or to extend it, find an administrative office for the opioid program. That budget line item was $1.6 million in that particular line item. It was overwhelmingly passed by the General Counsel, and yes, we did have to make a decision as the executive office. As I said, council, sits where they are, and they meet, we meet when we do. We face those things every day, and we have to make decisions that's in the best interest of the tribe, and that's what we do, and that's what we did, and it was with council approval as well.
Okay, thank you.
Now we have Representative Petit, and then for your second time, Ms. Emerton.
Chair, I understand that everybody's concerned about this. Has been a division within this nation as far as I've been around for 10 years. I just wanted to take into account some of the figures that we were provided by our treasurer regarding the congressional mission payoff. And I'm not sure when we received it. It's probably a couple of months ago. But anyway, the monthly payments on the two loans were $11,829.55. Now, I did go back and check the interest rate back on the loan numbers which were provided. I previously received copies of those, and I think there was an error in there that these are not at 10.5%. They're at 4.495 is what the interest rate's on. Anyway, taking into account 12 months out of the year, we pay $11,829. That's $141,948. The insurance based upon the last budget was around $75,000. The taxes, and this is just going to be a guesstimate because I wasn't able to get those information, but based upon the taxes for the school bonds and stuff that were passed to build these new schools around here, that's an exposure of about $236,948 a year. If you divide that by 365, that costs the nation around $650 per day. And so all those that want to make those, business stuff and not everything like that, but as they've stated before, a feasibility study needs to be made, a production of how this money can be available, and to give the chair, council, chief credit, I wasn't aware any of this money had been paid off. And to not jump too far ahead on our meeting for the 25th, there's a letter that's in our part of the audit report says the nation is named as a guarantor on a note carried by the Bristol Mansion Enterprises, LLC. The maturity date is March 4th, 2024, and the current outstanding principal is approximately $1,513,000 as of September 30th, 2023. So, I rest.
Okay, we're back to Representative Emerton, and we're on a time schedule, folks, so we're going to have to extend this meeting. Representative Emerton?
One of the things that was brought up, and this is just for you guys to think about, and I don't know if we can do this, but somebody brought up in our band meeting that if it was a casino in town, just a small one, I thought that was a good idea. There's so many different ideas we can do with it. Thank you.
I want you to know that I had a conversation with, and this is just segueing off what you said. We had sat down with Steve Saxon, the city manager of the city of Seminole, and they're going to give us the old municipal building. Most of the offices have been renovated. It has an auditorium, and we know that with the reservation status that we have, that we can conduct Class 2 gaming anywhere within the exterior boundaries of the Seminole Nation, as long as we own the land and fee. As I sat down with the interim chairman of the NIGC this past week at the Sovereignty Symposium, along with some of her upper staff, we also had gotten a word from Paula Hart from the Indian, out of Washington, D.C., Department of Indian Gaming, the director, and they put in writing they will assist the Seminole Nation in a Part 2 agreement, and it was referring to our initial and original reservation. So executive is continuing to move, and try to put us and position ourselves for progress and propel ourselves forward. I know I say that quite a bit, but believe you me, we're committed to that. I believe that the 106 acres north of the I-40 casino is available. And, it's not far-fetched. Someone says it's a dream. That could be a formidable area. We're speaking to people that could actually possibly fund that. And if that could be secured, then we will bring back to this council that possibility. And right there, the other corner of I-40, it would be wonderful. It would be blessed for us to have that corner as well. But these are things that you hope for, you pray for, you want to see your tribe advance. Representative Fulbright.
I call for question.
All right, Representative Fulbright calls for question. Secretary.
Leetta Simpson.
Yes.
Anthony Conley.
Yes.
John Narkemy.
Yes.
Nina Tiger.
Yes.
Ida Gonzalez.
Yes.
Nancy Fixico.
Yes.
Leon Petit.
No.
David Narkemy.
No.
Joseph Billy.
No.
Karen Fulbright.
Yes.
Ann Borba.
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert.
Yes.
Lottie Cootie.
Yes.
Marilyn Henson Lena.
Yes.
Richmond Larney.
Yes.
Tiffany Thunder.
No.
Wayne Shaw.
No.
Catherine McCoy.
No.
Charlie Hill.
No.
Tommy Chupsko.
No.
Danito Harjo.
No.
Willis Dethridge.
No.
Desiree Emerton.
Voting as my band has me voting is no.
I have 12 yeses, 11 noes, 0 abstain.
With a count of 12 yes, 11 no, I declare TR 2024-38 to have passed. I want the council to note, chair's not neither for nor against this. I was not in office when it was originally purchased. I was still in a work field, but it's what we were handed, every administration since. Okay, 12 to 11. I'm going to have the council secretary to double check that count, please. Just hold on.
That's right. Yeah, 12 yes, 11 no's.
The count is correct. We have TR 2024-39, a tribal resolution of the General Council of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma confirming the reappointment of Tiffany Thunder to the Arts and Cultural Committee. I entertain, if there's no objection on the Arts and Culture Committee, to vote on all three at the same time. It is the same committee. They sent their resumes in. They are all in the arts community, active, and I think they would be a great addition to this particular committee. Is there any opposed to that? All three appointments. Yeah, 39, 40, and 41. Okay. Okay, there's a motion to approve. There's an opposition. There's an opposition to that. So what we have, because we have an opposition, we have a motion and a second, but we're voting on the opposing of putting all three of these together to vote on. Okay, this is the cultural committee. So we're voting on the opposing, okay? So if you vote yes, you're voting to not vote on all three of them. Then we'll go back to separate if it was to pass. Okay, so this opposing vote on all three of them at the same time. Everybody understand? All right, I see a head shaking no. The motion was to pass all three of these at the same time. It got a second on the floor. We had an opposition to that because it's different than what's on the agenda. So what we're doing is we're voting on the oppose. If you oppose voting on all three of them, then you would vote yes. If you're for it, then if you're for all three voting at the same time, vote no. We'll go back to the original motion. Okay, now do we understand? Oh. Okay, here we go. Secretary, this is...
You made a motion, but did you get?
Yeah, there was a second. There was a motion made by Representative Shaw and seconded by Representative Thunder.
I thought that was to vote for all three.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, now, the opposing vote?
Yeah.
Is the same thing, Wayne Shaw and?
Well, it was sort of like it was an objection to it. So if you, it's getting late, folks. Okay. If you're against voting all three at the same time, you vote yes on this opposition. If you're for voting on all three at the same time, you vote no. Now, do you understand? Okay, I'm trying to make it clear. Secretary, call the roll. This is for the opposition of the voting for all three. We're going back to individual, whether you vote either way or
Leanna
anyway.
Simpson.
No.
Anthony Conley.
No.
John Narcome.
No.
Rena Tiger.
No.
Ida Gonzalez.
No.
Nancy Fixico.
No.
Leon Petit.
Yes.
David Narcome.
Yes.
Joseph Billy. Karen Fulbright.
No.
Ann Borba.
No.
Stephanie Lambert.
Yes.
Senate Lottie Cootie.
No.
Vincent Lena.
Yes.
Richmond Larney.
Yes.
Tiffany Thunder.
No.
Wayne Shaw.
No.
Catherine McCoy.
No.
Charlie Hill.
No.
Tommy Chupko.
Yes.
Danita Harjo.
Yes.
Willis Dethridge.
No.
Desiree Emerton.
No.
I have 7 yeses, 15 noes, 0 abstain.
Okay, we have 7 yes, 15 noes for the opposition to vote on all 3 resolutions at the same time has failed. So we're back to the original motion of Representative Shaw and seconded by Representative Thunder, I believe. So we're voting on all 3 at the same time. This is TR 2024-39, 40, and 41. Everyone understand? You're voting to approve this committee. All 3 of them at the same time. Secretary, call the roll.
Leetta Sampson.
No.
Anthony Conley.
No.
John Narkemy.
Yes.
Rena Tiger.
Yes.
Ida Gonzalez.
Yes.
Nancy Fixico.
Yes.
Leon Petit.
Yes.
David Narkemy.
Yes.
Joseph Billy. Karen Fulbright.
Yes.
Ann Borba.
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert.
No.
Lottie Cootie. Yes. Ensign Lena.
No.
Richmond Larney.
No.
Tiffany Thunder.
Yes.
Wayne Shaw.
Yes.
Catherine McCoy.
Yes.
Charlie Hill.
Yes.
Tommy Chupko.
Yes.
Danita Harjo.
Yes.
Willis Dethridge.
Yes.
Desiree Emerton.
Yes.
I have 17 yeses, 5 noes, 1 abstain.
We have a count of 17 yes, 5 noes, and 1 abstention. This is to declare that TR 2024-39 through 41, the appointment of the Arts and Culture Committee, all 3 have been confirmed by the Tribal Council. Okay, we're on TR 2024-42, for we are, so we have a tribal resolution as General Counsel of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma, confirming the reappointment of Billy Emerson Shepherd to the Gaming Enterprise Board. I entertain a motion to that effect. Got a motion by Representative Dethridge, seconded by Representative Lambert. Is there any discussion? Billy is here. Representative Petit. Mr. Shepherd, if you would, step forward. You might turn the microphone on.
Okay, Mr. Shepherd, nice to meet you again. We talked previously about Title 8, Chapter 2, Section 203, and some language on it that had limitations on eligibility. Have you had a chance to research that portion of the code?
I have.
And what is your conclusion of it?
So just to kind of identify what's going on, I think there in Title 8, Section 305, which governs SENDOC, there's a provision that no elected official, general counsel rep, band chief, assistant band chief can be on the actual SENDOC board. There's a provision there. And so the Representative Petit had kind of approached me about whether or not that same provision is in Title 8. So there is a provision in Title 8, Section 2, Section 203, which Representative is speaking to, and it talks about specifically the gaming manager of the enterprise cannot be an elected official, a general counsel rep, a band chief, an assistant band chief, or an employee of the SENDOC Nation. So, however, if you go a little bit higher, my law school professor in contracts always told me to start at the beginning of a statute to read down. And so if you read in Section 202, which is above Section 203, that talks about a board member of S&G, and the only limitation that's listed in that provision, it's 202A1, and the only limitation is that a board member cannot be a general counsel representative. So I think hopefully that answers your question, that a board member is distinguished separately and differently than the gaming manager of the enterprise. So as a board member, underneath 202A1, the only limitation is I could not be a general counsel representative to sit as both on the S&GE board and as the assistant band chief of the Ocheesee Band.
Okay. Thank you for your interpretation.
Oh, say that again, I'm sorry, I missed that last part.
The only limitation in section 2, Title 8, section 202, as for me to sit on the S&GE board and be an assistant band chief, the only limitation to sit on the S&GE board is that you cannot be a general counsel representative. It doesn't list all the other specific pieces that you would find in section 203, which dealt with the gaming manager.
Okay, thank you. That's my understanding anyway. Representative Billy?
On this TR, can I get on the wording? I understand that his time expired. This was the date before he was to expire. It says reappointment. Can I get some information on that? Yeah. It says reappointment now.
This is
I mean, if, because of the passage of
His
time.
term expired.
What?
His term expired. When we put that, when we dismissed.
We didn't, we had a continuation. This is a continuation of June 1st.
We're talking about the time.
Uh-huh.
I want to answer.
I believe it's a reappointment. If you would like to change the resolution wording because of the passage of time.
It's just the wording. I mean, that's one I want to know. It's still good. I mean, I'm just looking at, like I said, his term expired on the 4th, on the 4th of June. And today is the 15th. And it says reappointment. It hasn't been confirmed. On the 1st, it hasn't been reappointed.
His gaming license is still active at this time, as an individual.
Gaming license is only good 2 years.
Still active till the end of the month. Till the end of the month.
And gaming, so I know. I got gaming.
That's just what I believe the chief gaming officer related to us. I'm not saying this for my own.
I can say to my gaming license, so whenever I got appointed to GE board, I went and applied to get my gaming license. You get a 30-day provisional license, and then as long as everything checks out, then you get a 2-year license expire at the end of this month, due to that 30-day provisional period at the very beginning of when I applied for my license. So my license would expire at the end of this month. So, and to your point too, I was alerted to the expiration of the June 4th time period, and so I can tell you that I haven't taken any S&G board member activities, or we have not had a board meeting since that time, just so there would be no issues with illegal or unconstitutional activity. So,
Call for question.
I think it's going to be incorrect also in the final now, therefore be it resolved, because today is the 15th of June. So we could change both of those things, whatever the council desires.
What's the council desire to make the corrections, because we had a continuance at the time, so it did affect, as Mr. Billy has said, that expiration date of the 4th, and also the date of expiration if he was to be appointed or reappointed today. So if we make those corrections, who sponsored this? I mean, who made the motion? In a second. Okay, do y'all accept those corrections there? Okay, those things have been corrected, okay? Thank you, Mr. Billy, for bringing it to our attention.
Yeah, I think we're kind of getting into semantics on that, because it is a reappointment. I mean, he was on it, his term's expiring, and we were reappointing back to it.
Okay.
And that's the way I would view it.
Okay, well, I think they accepted it. Do you agree that it's a reappointment? You were on the agency commission. Okay, so, but we can change the last date of, instead of the 1st to the 15th. Would that be okay with the ones that? Okay, I understand. Okay, this is what we're changing, the language of the date, if he was to be reappointed today. Okay.
And Chief, if I may, just as a side note, not dealing anything with SNGE, but I'd be remiss if I didn't point out, I know that there's some ICW things that were happening earlier, but today is the 1-year anniversary of the Bracken decision, where the Supreme Court ruled that Indian Child Welfare, the Indian Child Welfare Act, was not based off of your race status. And so it's very important because it allows the tribe to be able to now adjudicate and be a part of what happens with our assimilation children in any juvenile deprived cases, removal cases, adoption cases. And it takes, and the reason why it's important is the state would have had the ability to now be over that if that decision was allowed and approved. So I wanted to point that out because I think it's a good thing, right, to be able to do that, and be able to sit here and govern our tribe. So
Interim director or chairman of NIGC, as I said earlier, I spoke with, and they're trying to expedite anything that the Seminole Nation has, and also they're actually us to do what we need to do to expand into another part of the country that we have not been before. So I'm excited about that. I think we should move forward on that when that time comes. Okay. Do we need, after this, we need to expand our meeting time?
A question was called, Chief.
Okay, all right. Secretary, call the roll. This is TR 2024 42.
Leetta Simpson?
Yes.
Anthony Conley?
Yes.
John Narkemy?
Yes.
Rena Tiger?
Yes.
Ida Gonzalez?
Yes.
Nancy Bixico?
Yes.
Leon Petit?
No.
David Narkemy?
No.
Joseph Billy?
No.
Karen Fulbright?
Yes.
Ann Borba?
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert?
Yes.
Lottie Cootie?
No.
Ensign Lena?
Yes.
Richmond Larney?
Yes.
Tiffany Thunder?
No.
Wayne Shaw?
No.
Catherine McCoy?
Yes.
Charlie Hill? Tommy Chepko?
Yes.
Danita Harjo? Willis Dethridge?
Yes.
Willis Dethridge?
Yes.
Desiree Emerton?
Yes.
I have 16 yeses, 6 noes, 0 abstain.
With a count of 16 yes, 6 noes, and 0 abstentions, I do declare TR 2024-42 with that one small amendment to have passed. Okay, we've already voted on the next two, so we're down to TR 2024-45, and Representative Emerton.
Yes, TR 2024-45, I was directed by my band to withdraw my sponsorship for this, so.
There's a withdrawal of the sponsorship for TR 2024-45. Is there someone that will pick this? Representative Fulbright?
I will pick up tribal resolution, TR 2024-49.
No, 45?
45, sorry.
Okay, TR 2024-45 withdrew the sponsorship by Tasiga Harjo Band and that newcomer band. Representative Narkemy, do we have a motion to that effect? You're sponsoring it. We have a motion?
I make a motion.
Is there a second? Is there a second? Second, Representative Narkemy.
I wish to make a motion for extension of our meeting for continuing the process
Yeah, we got, if we can get past this, we'll come right back to it, right after this count. We got enough time to do it. Representative McCoy.
my band wanted me to ask the sponsor, which be you now, for a friendly amendment. It's basically to the language, instead of the entire referenced lot of land, they would like it to be land east of the Veterans Center towards the cemetery. So not the whole plot, but to start off in pieces to first get that going before you could, if that makes any sense.
You accept that?
Can I have Frank come up to the front?
Ye-
And I think we were wanting to do stages. I mean, we was gonna.
Okay, you're going to either accept her friendly amendment?
Yes.
Okay, you accept it? Okay. How about the second? You accept it?
Yes.
Okay, now we're back to the resolution as stated, and then with that amendment, that's where we're at. So everybody, we've heard this over and over again. What the amendment was, instead of the whole amount of land, it'd be the land east of the cemetery, east of the Veterans Center to the cemetery. And if this was to be approved, that phase completed, then the council could take up consideration for additional property. Does everyone understand what has been presented to us today? Any questions? Representative Fulbright.
Then I have Frank come up to the front.
We have 5 minutes before we have to do an extension, and we listened to 2 presentations on this. We've listened to 2 presentations that took over 45 minutes. Everybody understands it. Okay, council, do y'all want one of the committee members to come and speak on this matter?
If he comes up there, maybe it's gonna push past 5.
That's what I just stated.
Well, let's call the question then.
Okay. Okay. All right. Secretary, call the roll with the amendment.
No. Anthony Conley.
No.
John Narkemy.
Yes.
Rena Tiger.
Yes.
Ida Gonzalez.
Yes.
Nancy Fixico.
Yes.
Leon Petit.
Yes.
David Narkemy.
Yes.
Joseph Billy.
Yes.
Karen Fulbright.
Yes.
Ann Borba.
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert.
No.
Lottie Cootie.
Yes.
Henson Lena.
No.
Richmond Marnie.
No.
Tiffany Thunder.
No.
Wayne Shaw.
No.
Catherine McCoy.
Yes.
Charlie Hill.
Yes.
Tommy Chupko.
No.
Danita Harjo.
No.
Willis Dethridge.
Now, let me be clear before I say yes or no. This is basically, phase 1 is from the property from the VA.
That's the land the council's allowing to be developed, is the east of the cemetery, east of the Veterans Center to the cemetery. That land west of it is not included with this amendment. So it's just a partial part of the original proposal for land usage. So yes, it's still a piece of land, and most likely in that plan, I think it was a memorial park. A memorial park. Call their names again, Secretary.
Willis Dethridge.
Yes.
Desiree Emerton.
Yes.
I have 14 yeses, 9 noes, 0 abstain.
With a count of 14 yes, 9 noes, and 0 abstentions, I declare TR 2024-45 along with the amendment to have passed. Now, somebody make a Representative Narkemy, go back to your...
Yes, sir. I make a motion to extend this meeting until the council's business is completed with these resolutions on hand.
Okay, and we have one item under other business. Okay, we have a motion. Did we get a second for that? Second by Representative Lambert. We do have to vote on this because this is an extension of the council meeting, okay? So, Secretary, call the roll. This is extending the council meeting after 5.
Deanna Sampson. Yes. Anthony Conley. John Narkemy.
Yes.
Rena Tiger. Ida Gonzalez.
Yes.
Nancy Fixico.
Yes.
Leon Petit.
Yes.
David Narkemy.
Yes.
Joseph Billy.
Yes.
Karen Fulbright.
Yes.
Ann Borba.
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert.
Yes.
Lottie Cootie. Ensign Lena.
Yes.
Richmond Larney. Tiffany Thunder.
Yes.
Wayne Shaw.
Yes.
Catherine McCoy.
Yes.
Charlie Hill.
Yes.
Tommy Chupko. Tommy Chupko.
Yes.
Danita Harjo.
Yes.
Willis Dethridge.
Yes.
Desiree Emerton. Yes. I have 23 yeses, 0 noes, 0 abstain.
23 yes and 0 no, 0 abstention. We are extended until we conduct the rest of the council business on the agenda, plus the item that was placed on June 1st under other business. Representative Petit.
Chairman, I just need some clarity on this, because like I said, this is a new deal to me, but where in the Constitution does it say that we have to vote to extend the time? It just states basically we have to start at 10 o'clock, and there's no ending time in this meetings of the General Council in this Constitution.
I think it's going to be specifically in the code. Title 16. We have to, if we go after a certain time, we have to be able to extend that meeting. And with him saying until council business is taken care of, that's whatever time that's going to be. So it depends on how quick we go from here. Representative Shaw?
Real history on that, that was because of the lady that sat on the council, Julie, who, in her older age, gets tired, so she brought a resolution forward, and they voted on 5 o'clock. They didn't say how long that resolution was good for, that's been 20 years ago there. But, yeah, all we have to do is go on directly executive law, draw something up, like she did on the delete it from our code, and we don't have to do this every time. But I do believe that we need to stay here until we finish our council and our people do. But, I know there's one of those bingo or,
Okay. Okay, thank you, Mr. Shaw, for that. TR 2024-46, Representative Fulbright.
Yes, I'd like to introduce TR 2024-46, a tribal resolution of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma General Council authorizing the executive office by and through the Program Development Department to prepare and submit grant applications to various federal governmental agencies for both 2025 and 2026. And I ask for a second.
A second.
We got a motion, we got a second. We got a motion, we got a second. Representative Petit, then Representative Dethridge.
Yes, Representative Fulbright. Would you go on to accept a friendly amendment to add the language, a monthly report be made to the council regarding these grants and the applications, the status of each one of them?
You want a monthly, I'm sorry, you want a monthly report on every grant that is, that he tries to get?
How about a quarterly report?
I think a quarterly report.
I think we already do that.
I just think the people need to be entitled to know how much we receive. Now, I agree with you maybe on the monthly report on each one, the application made, but each one, that any receipts made from, if we're granted the funds from that at least the council and the people being made, members of our nation are made aware of how much money is available.
Well, and I guess we get that when we get the budgets and stuff, that we have to approve to set it up and everything.
Has to be added to the comprehensive budget, it's by law.
I mean, that's.
But he's just wanting an encumbrance report as the grant is expended. Maybe we could send that to you. Right. I wouldn't say monthly, but maybe quarterly.
I think we could put quarterly in there.
Okay.
I'll accept that.
And that's for these from 25 and 26, right?
And
Okay.
Ann is accepting that also.
Okay. Okay, now there's a lot of hands raised. I think it was Representative Dethridge, and then I've seen some hands over here on the left. Representative Dethridge.
Spoke with you earlier about on the second page, the last whereas courtesy on line 71 and on line 82 and make it a requirement, basically is what you're doing. Courtesy meant, seems to us in our band, courtesy means if I feel like it, I'll send you a copy. Be willing to scratch out the word courtesy.
Yes, I will accept.
I understand.
Okay, Representative Larney.
Okay, under new business right here, it lists all the directors and departments, but underneath there, it doesn't, for this department, it doesn't have the director's name or the department on there, and he's never asked for, to come up for question. So, a lot of these been passed, and he has never did, okay, you just accepted that you're gonna start doing quarterly reports. I did the research, there's never been no quarterly reports. So why, right here in front of our face, do we have new business and all the directors' name except for his and the department? It's right there, it's educational, isn't it?
Yeah, he's not necessarily director. We have different names.
Then who is the director then?
We have directors, we have coordinators, we have specialists, things of
Okay,
that
can we put the
nature.
department there under that new business?
He's a program developer.
Okay, that's what it says underneath there, and it's been passed under TR 2375 for the last 2 years, and it's signed, and it says under whereas, the last whereas, the Seminole Nation General Counsel directs that the Program Development Department shall provide to the General Counsel courtesy copies of all awards and contracts associated with the grant application made pursuant to this resolution and signed.
Right, it's, she just struck the courtesy, so it will be mandated.
And it's always been passed, and there's no, okay, now there'll be some reports, hopefully, because it's my right to know.
Okay. I saw Representative Cootie's hand. Do you yield the floor, Representative Larney?
I yield.
Okay, Representative Cootie.
On this, they wanted to know that the applications, the grant application will, for various federal governmental agencies, both 25%. Does that mean that all the grants will come through your office, not your office, but
The historical stance of the council was these grants cannot be submitted for if they have matching requirements. Okay, matching money requirements. So yes, I'm aware of what grants are being sought after. You know, and so is Assistant Chief. So, yes, we're aware of it.
at one time, didn't the council pass where each borough have their own grant writers?
No, but we did in this administration brought on, y'all's allowed us to be able to bring some grant writers, and that's how we have received
So the grant
tens of
writer
millions,
in
hundreds
each-
of millions of dollars.
And the grant writer in each department will submit their grant to your program
Well, we do
development?
RFPs. We do RFPs for grant writers. We don't have in-house at this time all that much, really. Each area of a grant sometimes has what we call specialized areas, that they're more prone to be successful if they write, and the narratives and so forth. And there are some grant writers that are not so attuned to certain types of grants. So we do an RFP, they know what we're trying to go after most of the time. So we go by that. We don't just, hire somebody.
Well, and the other thing they wanted to know was that, will you take any dollars from these grants when it comes through?
Well, when you submit a grant, you have to submit a budget along with that grant most of the time, and then you fulfill that grant through that approved budget, and it comes back to the council to be added to the comprehensive budget.
Like your administration don't get any of the dollars?
Yeah, if there's money that's going to be received and then expended, by the nation, it comes back to this, this council. Representative Lambert.
When I was with program development, we did have to do a report every quarter. And I would like to see those reports as well, to see what we're submitting and what we're not. I agree that there should be a quarterly report. Also, to answer your question, is sometimes there is indirect cost that is charged to the grant that comes back to our tribe to help supplement our indirect cost rate as well. But additionally, I mean, he mentioned it, that there were all these directors here. Can we start getting a report on the directors that don't send in a report, and the directors that are not showing up at this? Because I think it's unfair to all the other directors when some of them are showing up and when some of them aren't getting excused or something like that after the council meeting. Is that possible?
There's a sign-in sheet.
Yeah, if we can get a copy of the sign-in sheet or something like that, so that way, or because we have requested them all to be here for the quarterly meetings, and even though they weren't called here, I noticed that there were some that weren't here. So we'd like to, I mean, I think we should hold them all accountable, or have them to be excused by executive office, or, you know, to the same standards, to the reporting and to the attendance, or either have them all to not have to be here and only be up on request. And that's kind of in addition to this specific.
I so wish that reports from the directors in writing would be sufficient for this council. And then if you have specific questions, then both CC executive into that director. But that's not the way we've chosen to do that. That's why we had to extend the meeting today. And since we've had the directors line up. But that's not my choice. Representative Fulbright.
Call for question.
Okay, this is TR 2024-46, and this is with those adjustments that were made. Okay, with those adjustments, they were language adjustments to submit quarterly reports, and not a courtesy, but it's a mandate. Well, we didn't put mandate, but it's not a courtesy. Okay, TR 2024-46, Secretary, call the roll.
Leetta Simpson.
Yes.
Anthony Conley.
Yes.
John Narcome.
Yes.
Rena Tiger.
Yes.
Ida Gonzalez.
Yes.
Nancy Fixico.
Yes.
Leon Petit.
Yes.
David Narcome.
Yes.
Joseph Billy.
Yes.
Karen Fulbright.
Yes.
Ann Borba.
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert.
Yes.
Lottie Cootie.
Yes.
Ensign Lena.
No.
Richmond Larney.
No.
Tiffany Thunder.
Yes.
Wayne Shaw.
Yes.
Catherine McCoy.
Yes.
Charlie Hill.
Yes.
Tommy Chupko. Tommy Chupko. Danita Harjo.
Yes.
Willis Dethridge.
Yes.
Desiree Emerton.
Yes.
I have 20 yeses, 2 noes, 0 abstain.
Okay, with a count of 20 yes, 2 noes, and 0 abstentions, I declare TR 2024-46 to have passed. Now, we already addressed 47. We'll go down to 48. TR 2024-48, a tribal resolution of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma. Oh, Representative Fulbright.
A tribal resolution of the General Council of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma authorizing the chief of the nation to enter into an agreement to use of certain tribally owned land for an aquaponic farm, and ask for a second.
Second.
Yeah, and it's more than an aquaponic farm. It has solar and all that kind of thing. So there's a motion and a second. Representative Shaw?
Can you give us a little more specific to the tribally owned land?
I think it's within the resolution, original resolution, 2 different tracts of land that possibly could be considered. One was in Sasakwa, or not far from Sasakwa, and the other is the 20, on the backside of the 29 acres over here on Highway 99. And it must be I think, up to 15 acres for the total project, or they could do with 5 acres to begin with, and for expansion up to possibly 15 acres. We have Dr. Caven Smallwood with us, and he may have a presentation. Some of you may have seen it at the, or handouts. Dr. Caven Smallwood, would you please come?
A little bit tall for me. So yes, I was in this room not too long ago presenting to the band chiefs. Thank you to the Tribal Council for the opportunity to explain. So my name is Caven Smallwood. I am the president and CEO of Symbiotic Aquaponic. We're a tribally owned company based out of McAllister, Oklahoma, that's done work with the Seminole Nation for about 10 years now. What we're proposing is bringing in 3 different federal programs to the Seminole Nation in order to build a state-of-the-art aquaponic farm. This would be an indoor farm with multiple tiers. It'd be about 50,000 square foot footprint, and it would be coupled with solar panels to offset the electricity usage. The goal would be to provide tribal preference to the individuals who are coming to work, as well as training. We're looking at bringing in 25 jobs paying a minimum of $17 an hour and up. And the programs that we're looking at accessing are USDA and BIA programs. I also am the chairperson of the Federal Advisory Committee for Urban Agriculture and for Innovative Production. I report directly to Secretary Vilsack on ways to get innovative production into marginally deprived areas. So with the leadership of the tribe and with a number of folks that I've known and done business with here before, I'm happy to answer any questions that you all have.
Representative Dethridge.
It's 29 acres straight east of here is one of the proposed locations. We had a gentleman here 3 months ago, sometime like that, and it was through another organization, and it was sort of like I want to build some solar stuff, but when it got right down to it, what he really wanted was $92,000 over 2 years, and during that 2 years, we're not going to build no solar farms. Are you going to build a solar farm?
Yes, in addition to that question, I'm not asking for any financial contribution from the Seminole Nation. Haven't ever and never will.
The acreage that you're asking for, will that still be owned by the Seminole Nation then?
Yes, that is correct. I propose a joint venture with the nation for the use of the property.
Is there a percentage that Caven gets and the Seminole Nation gets?
Well, that's going to depend on how we want to break up the different programs from the government. For example, the solar farm that you're asking about, that's through the REAP program, Rural Energy Access Program. In order for you to apply for that grant, you have to be a for-profit business. Okay, there's certain opportunities where it behooves the joint venture for Symbiotic, which is our company, to be the applicant, and for the Seminole Nation to be the applicant. So my goal would be to position the joint venture appropriately to take advantage of all the dollars that we could bring into the Seminole Nation.
Now you said applicant twice. Did you mean applicant and recipient, or applicant twice?
Well, applicant more than once, because there's multiple programs. So there's the REAP program, and there's also a business and industry loan guarantee through the USDA. On top of that, we've got a BIA loan guarantee as well. So 3 different programs working together.
So if we chose to do business with you, would we see a solar farm built on our property?
Yes.
In what time frame?
So it'd be up to the grant funding cycle. Okay, the grant right now Actually, you have to have applied by the 19th in order to qualify for this quarter's funding, okay? After this quarter closes, there's a rolling application to where we could apply again. Okay? Once the grant is approved, the grant funds must be spent within 2 years. But my goal
By the 19th?
of,
So, the 19th of June?
yeah, but we'll hit the next cycle because it's quarterly. So they have a rolling application to where if we don't get it in by the 19th, we can get it in for the next quarter. What that would mean is they would tell us by the end of the year if it was funded, and from that period of time, within 2 years, we would have to spend the money. My goal would be to spend it on day one.
How would you spend it all on day one?
Well, it's a reimbursement program, so you have to spend it to get it back. So we would have the funds lined up in order to spend the dollars in order to have them reimbursed.
I just didn't want you to go to I-40, but I mean, if you did, that'd be all right, I guess. Never mind. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, in this order, Representative Petit, Representative Larney, and then Representative Hill.
Yes, sir.
Petit
If
first.
I remember reading in the literature you provided, I don't recall seeing anything regarding what the return would be to our nation. I mean, you spoke about the employment of our members and stuff, but as far as the product, excess product, or anything, are we be entitled to those?
Yeah, so the goal is to pair the partnership with the nation all the way through the food distribution center. I believe if we set this up appropriately, not only can the tribe grow the food, tribal members be the employees to grow the food, but we can also distribute the food through the food distribution center. That way it makes its way to the people that need it the most within the tribe. So really, it would be a multifaceted program to strengthen economic development for the tribe, to hire tribal employees, and to also get fresh, high-quality fish and produce back to tribal members.
Is there a percentage associated with that on the return back to the nation, or is it just?
Yeah, it would be based upon whatever the joint venture was that was agreed to. So say it was a 51% owned tribal and a 49% owned Native American owned company, right? Then whatever proceeds were made would be distributed as such.
I'm talking about a return on the product. Now, I understand you're not only going to do solar, that you're going to grow product, food product also, correct?
Yes, sir, vegetables.
And that's what I'm saying. Is there a restriction on the percentage of that? Because there wasn't anything in your literature that said what that amount might be, like if we get 5% of net or anything like that. And that's
So just to clarify, when you say we, do you mean the Seminole Nation?
the nation.
Yeah, so the Seminole Nation would be owners of the produce. So they would own, you would own a portion of it. And as we make money through the company, the Seminole Nation would be entitled to those profits and that revenue. So it's the tribe's food.
Okay, so.
So the proceeds from the, yes, sir.
So if we have 51% interest in it, then we get over half whatever the product is that's developed on the farm.
Sure, yes.
Okay, and then we can choose then if we want to market it or if we want to give it to the people, then I guess is what.
So the farm has to maintain profitability. Okay, so ideally what we do is we work within the USDA to get the USDA to buy the produce from the farm and then distribute it to the tribal members for free. That's the best case scenario.
Thank you.
Okay, Representative Larney.
First of all, I think it's a great resolution. I like it.
Thank you.
But you're asking for 40 acres, right?
No, sir. So it's a phased project. The first phase would, 5 acres would be acceptable.
Okay, that's what I just want to make sure, because I was looking at the diagram and it said it was asking for 40 acres and it shows 27 acres. But we were asking what the remaining 13 acres was going to be used for. But since it's been rephrased, it's okay. You got it. All right.
Thank you.
Okay. Representative Hill and then Representative Cootie.
Sir, my question is, have you started any other aquaponic farms with other tribes within the state of Oklahoma? And if so, would you mind naming the tribes?
Yeah, so I don't have a problem at all. So we've actually done multiple tribes, the Modoc Nation, the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma. 10 years ago, we built the system across the street that's still running to this day. In addition to that, we've done work with the Cheyenne and Arapaho, I'm Choctaw. We built a system for the Choctaws at Lehigh, for the creek as well. And I'm sure I'm forgetting one or two along the way.
About the colleges.
Yeah, so our big point of focus is with Division I research colleges. So we built them for Texas A&M, Oklahoma State University, the University of Purdue, Tarleton State, Eastern Oklahoma State College, Redlands Community College. Our resume is long and illustrious, and I'm happy to provide contacts to anyone that wants them.
I can't believe a person like you is saying all this. Who found you? We need someone like you here in Seminole Nation, okay?
So Chief Johnson and I actually have a very long relationship. Chief Johnson's always been an advocate for food sovereignty for the tribe. So I see Ms. Stephanie Lambert, I see Councilman Narkamy, I see a lot of friendly faces that I've worked with over the years. I'm here. I'm from McAlester, Oklahoma. I went to the University of Oklahoma for my degree in economics, my law degree and my MBA from Oklahoma City University before moving back to Tallahassee to work on my family's farm. This is me. This is where I'm at, and this is what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life. Thank you, sir.
Kevin, did you say yes from McAllister?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Representative Cootie and then Representative Narkany.
This project, is it year-round?
Yes, ma'am. So it would be indoors.
Okay.
So I don't think the greenhouses are suitable environments. I think they get too hot, and you're not able to grow crops appropriately year-round. So the systems that we've been designing for people, we also design the indoor environments. This would be an indoor 50,000 square foot building with multiple tiers of growing. It produce tons and tons of food.
Okay. Representative Narkany.
I don't have a question for Mr. Kevin here, but I was just going to say that I have seen one of his aquaponics operations. I can assure you it is impressive. This is several years ago. And ever since that time, when I've had the opportunity, I've tried to advocate for for us to try to get operations like this started. I advocated to try to do it in cooperation with Seminole State College, and that didn't pan out. When we did do aquaponics, we cheaped it out, and that didn't work out for us. We have a good opportunity here. I have seen his operations. It will work.
Okay, any other questions?
What was the name of your company again? I'm sorry.
Symbiotic, so that's SYMBIOTIC, and then aquaponic, AQUAPONIC. My name is Cabin, K-A-B as in boy, E-N, last name Smallwood.
It's like spelling bee. Representative Fulbright.
I'd like to call for question.
Okay.
I asked him to comment on an award that he got from Hitachi. I think it was Hitachi.
Yes, sir, it was. So we were very fortunate that the Hitachi Technology Company recognized our work early on, and they gave us a $40,000 endowment, which is what enabled us to create the new technology, and then also mentorship and guidance along the way. So we've been blessed since day one to be walking down the right path, and I hope that that's where we're at right now.
Okay, Representative Fulbright called for question. Call the roll.
Leetta Sampson?
Yes.
Anthony Conley?
Yes.
John Narkamy?
Yes.
Rena Tiger?
Yes.
Ida Gonzalez?
Yes.
Nancy Bixico?
Yes.
Leon Petit?
No.
David Narkamy?
No.
Joseph Billy?
Yes.
Karen Fulbright?
Yes.
Ann Borba?
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert?
Yes.
Lottie Cootie?
Yes.
Ensign Lena?
Yes.
Richmond Larney?
Yes.
Tiffany Thunder?
Yes.
Wayne Shaw?
Yes.
Catherine McCoy?
Yes.
Charlie Hill?
Yes.
Tommy Chupko? Tommy Chupko? Danita Harjo. Danita Harjo.
Yes.
Willis Dethridge.
Yes.
Desiree Emerton.
Yes.
I have 20 yeses, 2 noes, 0 abstain.
Count of 20, 2, and 0. That resolution has passed. Thank you, sir. Representative Shaw. We have other business that was approved. I believe we did. Sharon? Yeah, we do. We do have a representative, and we are up to date on our dues. We've been participating. Currently, it's Sharon with BCR.
I don't have a problem with her, but she's already got her own membership. I'm talking about the nation's membership.
Yeah, we're a member.
Yes, but do we have representatives up there?
We do. Other than her, the chief and assistant chief, we are able to attend as well.
So y'all gonna be up there Tuesday?
We most certainly can, but we do have representation that is there, that attends, that participates.
Still waiting to win. Who is going on our behalf? You.
Sharon. Valerie? Valerie is as well. It's in great hands, Representative Shaw. Correct.
So we can sit at the round table, as they call it, so we can be sitting somebody else there. I can understand Sharon going to look at this, but she paid her own fee under BCR individual. So we have not selected, I'm talking about we have not about this council, have not selected who is to go up there on our behalf. That's like going to the better travel. The Willis on there,
I'll be there.
Okay, we'll take that as noted, but I want to also say that the Office of the Chiefs has the authority to delegate for specific meetings of that kind if we are not in attendance. But most likely we will be in attendance, one of us, either the chief or assistant chief. And if the council wants to desire to have a delegate, from the council, I'll be glad to take that up. I think it's a good organization to be a part of. They seem to be able to get some things done that maybe, so does Intertribal Council, obviously, but I think this organization is made up of a lot more tribes, and sometimes some of the interest of the smaller, and I mean small and enrolled certified enrollment, not small in significance. Sometimes they have a larger voice at this particular UNI and all. Okay, let's.
one more question. And that is, who is Jason Chambers and what does he do in our administration? We didn't say his name.
Yeah, Jason has his master's out of the University of Oklahoma. He worked, as we know, with us many years ago. He's worked with the Sac and Fox. Pretty bright young man, He's about to roll out with the loan program that we applied for a while back. Obviously broadband, he works with us on our some of our U.S. Treasury areas of small grants. So I think he does a pretty good job as far as, just his particular area. He needs to give reports to y'all, like you said. Representative Petit, and then let's see what we have here.
Chair, I just was kind of wondering, this LATCF was brought up in a conversation here just previously, and it's my understanding that that is related to ARPA funds. Is that not correct?
No, it's not really ARPA funds, so to speak, but it came out and become available through that period when we was in the pandemic about 2 years ago. And a lot of people didn't apply for it. The Seminole Nation did. It was a $6 million pot of funding, and it's been paying a lot of our budget for a comprehensive budget over the last year and a half. And we still got a considerable amount there. It's going to pay for HPO if the council passes it this year, to give them a little bit better flexibility in their overall budget from TCNS, which was the Tower Construction Notification System that we went after too, several years ago, and made about $2.3 million in 18 months out of that. So we're still, HPO's been surviving on that for a while.
Okay.
So.
And were you just mentioning the SSBCI funds that we received, that we applied for?
Yes, I think that's going to roll out. I don't want to give a date, but it's very soon. Well, we also going to have significant training for applicants, so it gives them a better chance to be successful with a loan. Because this is a loan. It's not a forgiveness giveaway. You automatically get it just because you put in an application. So that's where that technical money that we applied for as well, which was about $300 and some odd thousand, and we were approved for it. So it's going to be used in helping folks do business plans and give them a better chance to possibly get a loan. Representative Narkme, and then we're going to go to other business.
I appreciate it, sir. Just quick announcement here. I'm one of the organizers for this Indigenous event happening in July 20th, 21st, and 22nd. It's called Peace and Dignity Journeys. And what it is, it's an international prayer run known as the Peace and Dignity Journeys, which began in Fairbanks, Alaska, and they're running down to Argentina, to Colombia, South America. They're averaging 75 miles a day to 100 miles a day. Part of the route's coming through eastern Oklahoma on Highway 69, from starting in July the 20th, and now enter into Dallas on the 23rd or 24th. So we're trying to provide shelter, food, drinks, electrolyte drinks. We're asking for donations, gas cards, running supplies, whatever you can donate. I'm just letting that be known. Okay. I appreciate it. Thank you.
You make a request.
Yeah.
Make a request in writing, and it can be considered, at executive level. Representative Cootie.
One of the questions I was going to ask you, talking about the money for loan, those people that want to start business. Is it like a small business, or where you go in and apply for a loan to start a business, and then once you have the money in the bank, and you got to have collateral to
Well, definitely, it requires, an application that has a good business plan that gives the amount being loaned justification for the loan. So it's going to be a good program, and I'm going to share with you right now that the Seminole Nation can apply for portions of it too. So there's things that we can do, both in economic development to a certain extent, not the whole thing, obviously. Some have to, much has to be attributed to the membership as well.
I remember going to small business and they wanted all kinds of, I have money in the bank, I have something.
Well, this one here, the company that we contracted with and the nation itself, even though there will be a stringent loan application, it probably won't be as strict as that. Yeah. All right, we're in other business, and I think maybe Tallahassee has. Tallahassee?
Other business, at our band meeting, the chair, said he would like us to introduce a tribal resolution 2024-50, a tribal resolution of the General Council of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma confirming the appointment of Kyle Cootie to the Gaming Enterprise Board. I make a motion, ask for a second.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. This is under other business. You remember I said something about we got protect the nation. We didn't know that if Billy would even be reappointed. And it came up at our band meeting. Obviously, Kyle was the former treasurer of the Seminole Nation under the last administration. I know a lot of people think that maybe I have a lot of differences with him as a treasurer. There's questions, from the office of assistant chief back then. Do I think he has the skill sets to be effective in this position? I do think he has the skill sets to be effective in this position. I would ask that the council not try to use their influence with these members. Let them do their job if he was confirmed. Let Billy do his job if he's confirmed. Billy was confirmed, but if Kyle is confirmed, please try not to interfere with the business of the nation.
Chair, I believe Kyle was here earlier. Can I just step out to see if he's still here for any questions?
Yeah, you can check and see if he's still here. Does anyone have any questions okay, I see Petit and I see Dethridge in that order. Okay, Representative Dethridge, he yields the floor to you first.
Yes, sir. I'm blindsided on this important position for Seminole Board, for SNGE Board, without seeing a resume or anything else. So I'm going to just tell you, and I appreciate Kyle, I like Kyle, but I'm going to vote no, because we have to see this before I can.
I'll second that motion on the table because we'd like to see a resume also.
Well, there's a table that's cannot be debated, so we can't really comment on it. But Secretary, did you send out that nomination to the council?
No, because it was a verbal.
Okay. All right. Well. Okay. This is the table. Another S&G board member. The 25th, it will have to be placed under other business on the 25th as well, because the agenda's already sent out on that. But it can be done.
I recommend asking him any questions now.
Okay. Well, it's a table. It's a table, so there's no questions, there's no debate, there's no comment. So we're voting on this table, okay? I'm sorry? No questions on the debate on table. So we're going to vote on the table, okay? This is the table, okay? Everybody understand? This is the table nomination of Kyle Cootie to the SNGE board. Secretary, call the roll. This is the table.
Leanna Sampson.
Yes.
Anthony Conley.
Yes.
John Narkemy.
No.
Rena Tiger.
No.
Ida Gonzalez.
Yes.
Nancy Fixico.
Yes.
Leon Petit.
No.
David Narkemy.
No.
Joseph Billy.
No.
Karen Fulbright.
Yes.
Ann Borba.
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert.
Yes.
Lottie Cootie. Henson Lena.
No.
Richmond Larney.
No.
Tiffany Thunder.
No.
Wayne Shaw.
No.
Kathy McCoy.
No.
Charlie Hill.
No.
Tommy Chupko. Yes. Tommy Chepko, can you repeat, please?
Yes.
Danita Harjo,
Yes.
Willis Dethridge,
Yes.
Desiree Emerton, I have 10 yeses, 12 noes, 0 abstain.
With a, no outburst from the gallery, please, or the council floor. We have a count of 10 noes and 12 yes, so the motion to table failed. We're back to the original motion, and that is to appoint Kyle Cootie as another member of the S&GE board. We're at the original question. Representative Petit.
Chair, while I understand we didn't receive a resume or anything, I'd like to ask Mr. Cootie, okay, because you held a previous position, do you have any education?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and
Finance major with the at University of Central Oklahoma.
Okay, and you have experience in the accounting field already, you said? Which
Yeah,
obvious-
I'm currently serving as the, I guess you call it finance director for the Absentee Shawnee Tribe, so.
Okay, and I understand from reading the qualifications that there's several ways that you can reach those qualifications that are needed to be on the gaming enterprise board, so.
I would say so, just based on my previous work experience. I used to be a gaming compliance officer for the Sac and Fox Nation for approximately 10 years. And then after that, I moved into the executive director position for the Kickapoo Tribe of Oklahoma. So I served in at least the regulatory side, but I do have casino operations knowledge as well, just based on having to interact with the casino on a day-to-day.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Representative Lambert?
Kyle?
Yes.
Do you mind if I ask you why you didn't fulfill your transition obligations whenever you left the treasurer's position?
Yeah, so at that time, I think it was just more of, livelihood of not being guaranteed a position moving forward with the nation. So an opportunity arose that I just couldn't pass because I have to. I'm the only income in my family, so I got 4 kids. So in order for that transition period, I hopped on that opportunity. But I did submit a resignation, and I did try to attend to help Bill Larney after hours as well.
Thank you.
Representative Narcomi.
So what was your main interest in applying for the job, your basic motivation?
Well, my basic thing for anything with the tribe is just to help improve the tribe in general. But I think for this position is just trying to, first hearing all the horror stories about the casino. And I know there's 2 sides to every story, so I think just coming in and really getting a full understanding of the casino operations, understanding the business, seeing the financials, and adding value that way, because I feel like just in my experience and knowing that how tribal casinos work, especially being effective with their casino regulators, I think we could somehow create opportunities within the casino operations. Because the goal, I feel like the tribe and the casino, we've been stagnant for a long time. And I know we get people in and out of these positions as far as the management. And I'm not there to manage it by any means, but at least having that evaluation, that technical skill to evaluate the financials and know what can and can't be done.
Are you Seminole?
I'm Seminole, yes.
What band are you?
Tallahassee.
Kyle, I served with you. You were treasurer when I was assistant chief. And I think, obviously, we didn't have no great divides, but there was some things, that, I had a difference of opinion on, obviously. And one of those was being influenced, by certain ones, even when I felt like, just abide by your duties and what's within. You're under the council, you're not under the principal chief at that time. I had to think a long time, folks, because I have certain things that I stand for as well. I do believe, Kyle lost his mom and dad during that tragic period of COVID. There was a lot of challenges during that time. I think overall, Kyle is a good person. I think he tries to make sound decisions, but I think he can be influenced. And I'm going to ask you this question. You believe you're more mature now than you were a few years ago?
Yeah, based on what you're saying, I do. I mean, coming into that, not really knowing the role that I was getting myself into, gradually improving, gaining the knowledge, research, really just understanding tribal government as a whole. But I think, through that time, I did mature a lot more. So.
Okay, and I do think personally, and I'm not supposed to really say one thing from the chair, but I think he has grown. That made my choice. Some people think I might have flopped on this thing, but my thing was to protect the nation. That's what I have to do as the chief of the Seminole Nation. And any decision that I might make, you might not agree with it, but I know where we're at and what is expected historically from us. And if tribal law supports it, then I can move in that direction. Representative Lena.
Yes, we all know that casino is really our only source of income, and we've been operating with one person for a year or so. And I'm glad that someone, chief, someone will step up and help out, because as everyone sees, all other casinos are moving forward. Even our casino is growing, slowly but surely from before. Before I was a representative, I sat in there and listened with the employees, and it was sad. Now as I go and visit and see, I can see the growth, I can see the getting along a lot better. It's just a better environment, and I think two men are better than one. And if there's an opportunity for any of our casinos to move forward, I want to say go for it. Go for it. You have the backing of our man, because we believe in who we put in place there. Let's go for it, because we're power slow down. Let's see what else.
Representative Hill.
Carl, I'd just like to ask, do you have any military background, and if so, would you mind telling us, please?
Yes, I do. I served in the military. I served in the Navy for 4 years. I was deployed to Afghanistan, Iraq for 9 months. So, yeah. I know I don't seem like it, but I was.
Representative Fulbright.
Can we call for question?
Okay, we can call for question, and that's what we'll do now. Secretary, call the roll.
Deanna Sampson.
No.
Anthony Connolly.
No.
John Narkemy.
No.
Rena Tiger.
No.
Ida Gonzalez.
No.
Nancy Fixico.
No.
Leon Petit.
Yes.
David Narkemy.
Yes.
Joseph Billy.
Yes.
Karen Fulbright. Karen Fulbright. Ann Borba. Stephanie Lambert.
Yes.
Lottie Cootie.
Yes.
Henson Lena.
Yes.
Richmond Larney.
Yes.
Sorry. Tiffany Thunder.
Yes.
Wayne Shaw.
Yes.
Catherine McCoy.
Yes.
Charlie Hill.
Yes.
Tommy Chupko.
Abstain.
Abstain.
Danita Harjo.
Abstain.
Abstain.
Willis Dethridge.
No.
Desiree Emerton. I have 11 yeses, 9 noes, 2 abstain.
With a count of 11 yes, 9 no's, I confirm that that appointment to the S&GE Board of Fashadi Kyle Cootie to that board. So that's a conclusion of the business of the Tribal Council this afternoon. Thank you for your patience. We will have a special call meeting on the 25th. You should have your packets. It's already out there, mainly for the audits, but we do have a couple of other things that we'll be covering as well. So thank you, Council. Yes, we will. We will. Representative Shaw, did you want to close us in prayer?
Como